She's been taking me around to look at some Buddhist temples. The highlight of my day was the fact that I got to visit an 800-year-old Buddhist temple. An 800-year-old Buddhist temple. Had a chance to take a picture with the Grand Master and overseer of that Buddhist temple. I was not allowed to go inside of the Buddhist temple, but the fact that I had a chance to be there, and I sat outside the temple and did a little meditation. I needed to get a meditation in so I could absorb all of that ashe coming from all of those great grandmaster teachers of that Buddhist temple, most of whom, the early ones at least, I suspect were very much African people, as Prince Siddhartha was himself. Being a psychologist, a doctor of clinical psychology, obviously, I study Buddha. In psychology, we use a lot of his techniques during the course of psychotherapy. And so, without question, I think he was the greatest psychologist to have ever lived. Buddha, Black Buddha, was the greatest psychologist to have ever lived. And it was just an honor to be outside of his temple. And of course, when I go to China, I will visit an additional Buddhist temple. And so that's how that's going to play out. So I'm a little restless. I'm up. Philadelphia, you guys are minus 13 hours from Japan. So that means right now, whatever time it is, I think it's about 1 a.m. over here. Yes, it's 1:15 here. So that means it would be 12:15 in Philadelphia. So it is still yesterday. So I'm actually speaking to you in the future. Isn't that interesting? The Prince of Pan-Africanism is speaking to America in the future, because although it is Saturday here, it is still Friday where you are. So that is quite interesting. I'm actually tomorrow. Anyhow, what I want to do right now is I want to talk to the ladies a little bit. You all know I'm working on my For Sisters Only Relationships and Dating book, my upcoming book, For Sisters Only Relationships and Dating, which I hope to have completed by this coming Kwanzaa, but I offer no guarantees because I have so much going on. The book should have been out years ago, but hey, we got the school thing, we got traveling, we got school psychology work, we got the National Independent Black Parent Association, we got the upcoming Black College and Consciousness Tour. We have a lot. But what I want to talk about is I want to just delve deeply into some of the topics and issues that we will be discussing in the For Sisters Only Relationships and Dating book. Okay? Now, ladies, okay? And this isn't going to be a long video, but I'm just going to, cover some of those issues. Don't forget, I will be in New York City on Friday, June 2nd. The Prince of Pan-Africanism will be speaking at the Brown Memorial Baptist Church in New York City on Friday, June the 2nd at 52 Gates Avenue in Brooklyn. 52 Gates Avenue in Brooklyn on Friday, June the 2nd. Get your tickets online now. They're just $20. Children 12 and under are free, and elders 65 and older are also free. So get your tickets. Tickets will be available at the door. If you don't do credit card, if you don't do Eventbrite, tickets will be available at the door, but they will be more. They will be more, and those who buy their tickets ahead of time get in first. Also, if you buy your tickets online to any Dr. Umar event, so that's not just Brooklyn on June 2nd, but that's also Minneapolis on June 14th and Seattle on June the 17th. If you buy your ticket early online and you print it out and bring it with you, from this point forward, make sure you bring your printed ticket with you to all Dr. Umar lectures. The printed tickets go into a raffle, and I shake up that box and I'll pull out one of the printed tickets that you brought with you. And whoever printed ticket that I pull out, you will get a free Dr. Papa package, which means you get a free t-shirt, you get a free hoodie, you get a free book, a free button, free DVD, free red, black, and green flag, a free patch. You get one free of everything. So that's why it's important that you buy your tickets online, because not only do you get in first, you get an opportunity to win the Dr. Papa gift package. You cannot win the Dr. Papa gift package if you buy your ticket at the door. You can only win your Dr. Papa gift package if you buy your ticket online. Okay, so that's an extra reason to buy your ticket online. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, I will see you September 30th. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, I will see you September 30th. Okay, so my people in Florida asking when I'm coming back, I will be in Fort Lauderdale at the African American Research Library, Broward County, on September 30th. Houston, Texas. Prince of Pan-Africanism will be in Houston, Texas for Kwanzaa, Saturday, December the 30th, Houston, Texas. We're working on Cleveland. Toronto, Canada. I think I'm going to go ahead with the 11/11 date for Toronto, Canada. United Kingdom, Wolverhampton, Luton, Liverpool, Brixton, Bristol, London, Birmingham, Manchester. You will see me the 2nd and 3rd week in October. Facts. So, I was out today. I got me some Japanese snacks. Okay. Some Japanese snacks. You know, I gotta get my snacks on. Okay. Some Japanese snacks. Okay. Gotta get your Japanese snacks on, right? So. Okay, ladies, let's get into this. First of all, to my beautiful black sisters out there, okay, I'm just going to jump right on into it, all right? Rule number 1, ladies, you have to stop. You have to stop laying the vagina trap, because the vagina trap does not work over the long haul. A lot of women believe that if they get pregnant, if you deliberately, I'm not talking about accidental conception, I'm talking about deliberate conception of a man's child as an act to try to entrap him permanently in your life, that's not going to work. Too many sisters are laying vagina traps, believing that either sex or a baby will keep a man in your life. Sisters, I'm here to tell you, I don't care what kind of cookies you got. I don't care if you got the best cookies God ever made. They could be soft cookies, juicy cookies, good cookies. I don't care how good the cookie is. It cannot keep a man. Do you understand? I don't care how many babies you make. That's not going to keep a man. The vagina trap does not work, so please stop using it. It works in the short term. He gets infatuated. He falls in love with the sex, okay? But the sex can't keep a man, okay? It may dictate his availability in your life, but sex cannot keep a man. And I need women to understand that sex is important. Half of married people get divorced over sex. Black and white. A lot of married people get divorced over sex. Sex is very important. It is very important to be able to physically please your partner. What I am saying here is that sex in and of itself will not save your relationship, nor will it make your relationship. Why? Because there's 24 hours in a day, and you cannot spend all 24 hours in a day on your back. Do you understand? All 24 hours of your day cannot be spent on your back. So no matter how great those cookies are between your legs, I'm here to tell you that the vagina trap is a recipe for disaster. Okay, and the baby trap is a recipe for disaster. Now, the reason why the vagina trap and the baby trap are still often used by many women is because once in a while they are successful. We all know men who married women just because they got pregnant. The baby trap. And so many women, when they hear about these types of situations, they believe it can also work for them. But here's what you need to understand. Coming from a psychologist's perspective, I have learned in my 17 years of therapy that oftentimes men who marry women as the result of a baby trap, in other words, he did the right thing. And we commend our brothers who do the right thing, standing up, taking responsibility. That is powerful and it is important. So we commend our brothers who do the right thing. However, what I've learned in my work as a therapist is that men who feel they were forced into marriage, men who feel that they were forced into marriage by way of a baby trap, are more likely to go outside of that relationship and practice adultery, and they are less likely to feel guilty about their extramarital affairs. I want women to get this, okay? I want women to get this. Men who feel that the marriage was created or forced as the result of a baby trap are less likely to feel guilty when they go outside of the relationship, because on a certain subconscious level, they feel that they were not given informed consent before they chose that woman. So I'm saying, good sisters, that it's very important that we not use babies and that we not use sex to try to keep a man. Now, going to another level, and I need women to understand this. The most attractive thing about a woman, to a real man is your self-confidence. Okay? The most attractive thing about a woman, okay, is your self-confidence. See, brothers have so many women to choose from. There's so many queens available out there in the field that brothers have to come up with systems. Every man has his own system for sifting through the available women to decide which queen is most appropriate for him. Okay? Or better yet, who will be the 2, 3, 4 essential members of his queendom. Okay? Every man has a queendom. Every man. Okay? And so that queendom normally consists of 2 to 4 women. Queendom. And one thing that women need to understand is that men are very practical and functional in our relationship selections. We are very practical and functional in our relationship selections. Now, in the beginning of a relationship, okay, a man can get all caught up in the panties. He can get all caught up in that big ass she got. He can get all caught up in how good she looks. That's true. But once the honeymoon period wears off, once he regains his senses, and see, this is where a lot of women mess up, because those first 3 to 6 months, he is going crazy over you. The first 3 to 6 months, he is going crazy over you. And so some women make the mistake of assuming that those first 3 to 6 months are going to be the consistent and permanent way that that man is going to relate to him. Okay? And that's not true. He's in the honeymoon. Every relationship has a honeymoon period. Those first 3 to 6 months, he in love with them cookies. That first 3 to 6 months, he's in love with those burnt omelets and that stale spaghetti that you're giving him. The first 3 to 6 months, he loving all of those, that old toast, that old jelly and jam. You understand? But because that's the first 3 to 6. But then he regains his senses. And what I need every woman to understand something, because men are more logical and linear, okay? Women are more emotional and philosophical. So even though he may be all emotional in the beginning, once that 3 to 6 month honeymoon period runs down, that man is going to regain his senses. He's going to come back to his logic. He's going to come back to his male mind. And when he comes back to his male mind, he's going to start evaluating you from a practical and a functional perspective. Okay? Practical and functional. What does that mean? That means, what in the hell can this woman do for me besides bake those cookies? I'm going to tell you. If he's a man on the grind, he don't have time for no woman in his life that can't do nothing but offer good looks and good sex. If all you can offer is good looks and good sex, you will lose. Let me say it again, ladies. If all you can offer is good looks and good sex, you will lose. Let me say that another way. I think black women should put 75% of their financial investment in them that you spend on hair and pocketbooks and clothing and nails and getting your tummy tucked and your ass fat. What you should do is take 75% of your superficial budget. We're going to call it the superficial budget. Okay? I want you to take 75% of however much money you've allotted for your superficial budget, and I want you to invest that in here. I want you to invest it in spirit. I want you to invest it in mind. I want you to invest it in being a better woman. Y'all spend too much money in the wrong place. I don't care how many tummy tucks and ass lifts you get. When you get to be 45, 50, 55 years old, that shit gonna get out. What is left after that? What is left after that? Y'all spend all that money on hair and all that money on clothes and all that money on pocketbooks. Okay? But what you need to understand is the phenotype, the external beauty of a woman will get the man's attention. That will bring him in. That's your fish hook, but it won't keep him. It won't keep him. It will reel him in, but it will not keep him. So after you use the ass and the breasts and the hair and the face and the eyelashes and the fingernails and the tight jeans to pull the man in, do you follow me, sister? Your looks will pull the man in. But after you pull the man in with your looks, black woman, what are you going to use to keep him in? Because the looks ain't strong enough to keep him in. Let's look at it. In the American context, in many cities where we live, black men are outnumbered by our sisters anywhere from 1 to 6 to 1 to 26. In the United States of America, we have ratios from 1 to 6 to 1 to 26. So there's a lot of gorgeous women. I mean, beautiful black women are everywhere. Do you understand me? So if you invest in all your money in looking good, and the next sister investing all her money in looking good, what is setting you apart? This supreme self-confidence is the most important thing. Supreme self-confidence is the most important thing for a woman. Supreme self-confidence. It's the most attractive thing. A woman who knows her worth, a woman who knows her value, a woman with a solid, unshakable self-concept. Do you understand? A woman with a high level of self-esteem. Okay? A woman with a positive self. That's attractive because it emanates from you. You know how you say a man walks into the room and you can feel his energy? Well, when a sister walks into a room, a man can feel her energy. A man can feel her energy. And guess what, ladies? Guess one thing we know. Because every man is a psychologist on some level, whether they got a doctorate like Dr. Umar or not. One of the things a man knows, okay, he can feel your self-esteem. A man can feel a woman's self-confidence. Okay? Your self-confidence is hiding behind all that makeup. Your low self-esteem is hiding behind that 3-foot weave. Your self-esteem is hiding behind that tummy tuck, and it's hiding behind that ass lift, and it's hiding behind that Louis bag, and it's hiding behind those sunglasses. And your low self-esteem is hiding behind those stilettos. Listen, black woman, you can't hide self-esteem. You can't hide self-esteem. I don't care how good you look. If you have no self-esteem, he will know it. You know when you hear this saying that men kick game on sisters? They say the brother will come and kick game on sisters. Do you know what that means, to kick game? To kick game means to play to her emotional vulnerabilities. To kick game on a woman is to do nothing else but play to her emotional vulnerabilities. That's all game is. Find her emotional insecurities and you play on it. That's all game is. A woman who doesn't have any emotional insecurities cannot be gamed. Facts. 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 I'm going to say it again. A woman who doesn't have any emotional insecurities cannot be gamed. She cannot be gamed. Do you understand? And this is why it is so important for men to be in the lives of their daughters. This is why it is so important for men to be in the lives of their daughters. This is why it is so important for men to be in the lives of their daughters. Because when a woman doesn't have a father, when a woman doesn't have a father to love up on her, listen to me, ladies. We're going to get clinical for a minute. We're going to get clinical. You understand? Your mother's job is to teach you how to be a lady. Your mother's job is to teach you how to be a lady. But your father's job is to validate your womanhood. Your father is the one who puts the icing on the cake. It is your father who must validate your feminine energy. See, if your father did already told you that you are worth the world to him, if your father did already told you you're the most beautiful thing in his eye, if your father did already told you that no matter what, baby, I will be here for you. Daddy will always be here when no one, when your father has already made you emotionally secure, when your father has made you emotionally secure, okay? There's nothing no other man can do to invalidate your security. There's nothing another man can do to invalidate your security. But when your father was not there to make you that woman, see, your mother teaches you how to be a lady. Your mother teaches you how to be a lady, but it is your father who consecrates your femininity. It is your father who ultimately validates and condones and sanctions your queendom. Your father sanctions your queendom. That's why fathers are so important. He sanctions the queendom. But if your daddy wasn't there, if your father did not validate your womanhood, if your father did not legitimize your femininity, you will spend the rest of your life. You will spend the rest of your life. And we all know women who have spent the greater portions of their lives searching for a man to validate their femininity. And if you run into the wrong man looking for your womanhood to be validated, that man will exploit you. He will abuse you. He will use you, and he will hurt you. And this is why I believe, listen to me, sisters, because I love all of you. I love all of you. Okay? If you run into the wrong man trying to get your femininity validated, it could cost you your life. It could cost you your life. Physically, spiritually, emotionally, or intellectually, it could cost you your life. Which is why if Dr. Umar Johnson was in charge. If Dr. Umar Johnson was in charge, any woman with low self-esteem would not be allowed to date. Facts. If a sister has low self-esteem, I would not let her date. The most dangerous thing for a black woman is to be dating with low self-esteem. The most dangerous thing for a black woman is to be dating with low self-esteem. If you have low self-esteem, sister, you don't need to be dating. You need to be working on yourself. You need to be working on yourself, because there's too many black men, or any man for that matter, but we dealing with our own because we don't believe in interracial relationships, okay? There's too many men out here who will hurt you. They will hurt you. You will get hurt out here looking for love without any love for yourself. I said you will get hurt out here looking for love if you don't have any love for yourself. You will get hurt out here, black woman, looking for love if you don't already have any love for yourself. Dating is dangerous for a low self-esteem sister. Dating is dangerous for a low self-esteem sister. You will allow a man to use you financially. You will allow a man to use you sexually. You will allow a man to beat you. You will allow a man to mistreat your children. Oh, yes, you will. You will allow a man to reduce you to a damn slave, because the worst thing in queendom, the worst thing in queendom is for a black woman to feel she got to have a man in order to be a woman. Let me say it again. One of the worst realities in black America is the fact that we have black women who feel they got to have a man in order to be a woman. And do you know where that comes from? Where does this belief come from in black women that you got to have a man in order to be a woman? That comes from poor modeling from your mothers, your grandmothers, and other significant women in your lives. It comes from poor modeling from mothers and grandmothers and other significant women in your life. They have modeled for you inappropriately. They have modeled for you inappropriately the belief that in order for you to be a woman, you got to have a man. And you know what's so dangerous about that? If you got to have a man to be a woman, any man will do. Any man will do. If you got to have a man to be a woman, any man will do. Ray Ray will do. Tay Tay will do. Any man will do. Okay, what happened to my... Okay, there we go. Now, ladies. When you meet a man, usually, he's going to have a couple other female friends. If he's not committed, he's going to have a couple other female friends. A mistake that women make often early on in relationships, okay, is you spend too much time worrying about the other women that are in a man's life. Okay? I'm talking early on. I'm not talking y'all living together, because you should have been had that conversation. I'm not talking about marriage. You should have been have that conversation. I'm not talking about engagement. You should have been had that conversation. I'm talking about you're within the first 3 to 6 months of dating, and you're overly preoccupied with the other women in a man's life. That is nothing but insecurity, and it's none of your damn business. What you need to understand, you cannot force a man to get rid of no woman he don't want to get rid of. I'm going to say it again. Are you listening, black women? Are you listening? You cannot force a man to get rid of any woman who he don't want to get rid of. I don't care how often you scream, cry, nag, stalk his cell phone, follow him around. No man is getting rid of any woman that he considers important or essential for his mission. So what you need to focus on is on being who you need to be. Because if you are who you need to be, then guess what? He will automatically, if you become what he needs, he will automatically begin to disengage himself from the other women in his life. You don't have to tell him to leave them. You don't have to harass him to leave them. You don't have to force him to leave them. You don't have to intimidate him to leave them. You simply have to become the best woman you can be for yourself, not even for him. Because your self-development should never be contingent on a relationship. Can I say that again, ladies? Can I say that again? A woman's self-development should never be contingent on getting a man. If you're telling me that you're not going to start trying to improve yourself until you find a man who's worthy of you improving yourself, you don't deserve a man. Why do you need a man to motivate you to be a better woman? Why do you need a man to motivate you to be a better woman? That's like a brother. That goes both ways. If a man needs a woman to motivate him to be a better man, that's a problem. Because nothing outside of you should have to motivate you to build up what's inside of you. Nothing outside of you should have to motivate you to build up what's inside of you. Now, ladies, every one of us, man and woman, and some of what I say is going to be just as relevant to the brothers as it is to the ladies, but every one of us, we have two ages. We have two ages. And when you date brothers, it's very important on evaluating, getting an assessment on his emotional age. You have a physical age and you have an emotional age. Everybody, you have a physical age and you have an emotional age. Now, physically, Dr. Umar Johnson is 40 years old. Physically. My biological age is 40, right? 40 years old. But what is my emotional age? What is my intellectual age? What is my psychological age? I may be 40 biologically. I may be 40 genetically. But what is my psychological age? Dr. Umar Johnson could be 12 years old psychologically. My psychological development could have been arrested when I was a child. I could still be operating at 5. I could be operating at 20. I could be operating at 25, which takes me to my next point. My next point, ladies, okay? You will never be happy dating a man whose psychological age is significantly lower than your own. You will never be happy dating a man whose psychological age is significantly younger than your own. And this goes for brothers too. I tell brothers too, you got to get a read on that sister's psychological age. When you see a woman who's overly preoccupied with how she looks physically, you know her psychological growth is stunted. You know her psychological growth is stunted. If you see a man who's overly preoccupied on how he looks physically, you know his psychological growth is stunted. We're supposed to be attractive. We're supposed to look clean, well kept, presentable. But beyond that, when you get fixated on your physical, there's an issue. There's a deep psychological issue. Now, this also means what? This also means that you should never marry. You should never get engaged. You should never cohabitate with a person, man or woman, until. You should never cohabitate until you have ascertained their psychological age. And the only way you can ascertain their psychological age is to see how they react under stress. Facts. If you tell me you're about to get married and y'all never had an argument, I'm a little concerned. If you're about to tell me y'all about to move in together and y'all never had a disagreement, I'm a little concerned. If you're telling me that you're about to get engaged to a man or a woman and you have never seen how they react under stress, that means you don't know the whole person. That means you don't know the whole person. If you only see Dr. Umar Johnson when he's happy, when he's energetic, when he's loving life, but you never seen Dr. Umar Johnson when he's disappointed, when he's under distress, when he's dealing with conflict in life, then you don't know me. You don't know me. You only know one half of me. You know the happy part, but you don't know the unhappy part. And you got to learn the unhappy part. And why do you have to know the unhappy part? Do you know why you got to know the unhappy part? Because the unhappy part reveals the pain body. And every one of us has a pain body. Every one of us has a pain body. Say it with me, ladies. Pain body. Say it with me, brothers. Pain body. You know what the pain body is? Let me tell you what the pain body is. Let me tell you what the pain body is. The pain body is a psychological, psychic field. It's like a bank that you keep your pennies in, a bank that contains all the negative emotions that have ever been generated in you from interacting with other people. So the first time you got used, the first time you got cheated on, when you got disappointed, your negative relationships with your dad, your negative relationships with your mom, your negative relationship with your ex-boyfriends, your ex-husband, your ex-wife, with your brothers, your sisters, all your emotions are in your pain body. And we all have a pain body. Every last one of us has a pain body, and all of our negative emotions are in this pain body. Now, your pain body normally sleeps. Your pain body normally sleeps. Your pain body normally sleeps. Guess when your pain body wakes up? Guess when your pain body wakes up? When you deal with stress. When you deal with stress, the ego feels vulnerable. When you are under stress, your ego feels vulnerable. Well, I may be talking over your head because you one of them 10-cent niggas, so keep it moving. When you feel stress, okay, your ego feels vulnerable. And when your ego feels vulnerable, it has no time to keep up the facade of who you want the other person to believe you to be. When your ego feels vulnerable, it's no longer able to keep up the facade of who your ego wants the other person to believe you to be. So the ego stops projecting this false social self and it goes into defense. It goes into defense. And that's when it fights like hell to preserve the image of itself that it has created in your mind. It fights like hell. It fights like hell to preserve the image of the person it has created itself to be within your mind. And when a person is under stress, the pain body wakes up. When the pain body wakes up, we all have a pain body. Black woman, you have a pain body. Black man, you have a pain body. All of us have a pain body. Okay? And you judge a pain body on 3 criteria. You judge a pain body on 3 criteria. And by the way, ladies, if you want Dr. Umar Johnson to come to your town and do a For Sisters Only seminar, if you want Dr. Umar Johnson to come to your town and do a For Sisters Only seminar, if you want Dr. Umar Johnson to come to your town and do a For Sisters Only seminar, brothers, if you need the Prince of Pan-Africanism to come and do a Brothers Only seminar, okay, you can reach my booking agent, okay, my executive assistant, at drumarspeaks@yahoo.com. If you need Dr. Umar to come and do a For Sisters Only seminar or for Brothers Only seminar, you can send that email to my executive assistant. The email for booking Dr. Umar Johnson for speaking events is drumarspeaks@yahoo.com. That is DRUMAR speaks@yahoo.com. I repeat, that is DRUMAR speaks with an S @yahoo.com. If you want radio interviews, you reach me directly. Radio and newspaper interviews, you reach me directly, drumarjohnson.com or drumarjohnson@yahoo.com or 8444-DRUMAR. 8444-DRUMAR. Okay? Well, with the Steve Harvey book, I just got a question about the Steve Harvey book. I took some issues with the Steve Harvey book. I believe that Steve Harvey oversimplified the male psyche. I believe that our brother Steve Harvey oversimplified the male psyche. The book reduced men to damn near being dogs and poodles who you just need to lead around with a little bit of cooch and some ego stroking. And the black man is much more complex than a little bit of cooch and some ego stroking. So the Steve Harvey book, that's going to mislead a lot of women. In fact, the Steve Harvey book is partly what motivated me to do the Umar Johnson book for sisters only, relationships and dating. The pre-orders will be coming out in the next couple months. You can pre-order the For Sisters Only book from Dr. Umar Johnson. But one of the things that Steve Harvey said that I totally disagree with, one of the things that Steve Harvey said that I totally disagreed with, a sister asked Steve Harvey, when should you introduce your children to your partner? When should you introduce your children to your partner? And Steve Harvey said, as soon as possible. That's the most, when I heard him say that, I said, this Negro knows nothing about the psychology of love and intimacy, the black man or the black woman or black families or relationships. Sisters, listen to me. Listen to me, ladies. You do not introduce your children to a man as soon as you meet him. If you introduce every man you meet to your children, your son will think you a hoe. Your son will think you a hoe. If you bring every man home who's taking you out on a date, your son will think his mama is a hoe. And you can't afford to have your son thinking his mama is a hoe. Why? Because if the son thinks the mama is a hoe, then the son will generalize. He will contextualize and generalize that to all black women, and he will think all black women are hoes. Why you think these hip hop coons, why you think these gangster rap coons go around all day long in their videos and in their music calling women bitches and hoes? You know why? Because they were never taught by the women in their lives to respect black women. There's no way in hell you can be taught by the women in your life to respect black women and to go around all day long in your music calling women hoes and bitches. So the quickest way for you to teach your son how to treat black women like hoes and bitches is to bring men, every man you meet, home to your child. Black woman, you don't do that. Black woman, you don't do that. And if your daughter sees her mom bringing every man home she meets, you're training her how to be a little hoe. You're training her how to be a little hoe. One thing I love about my mother, and I look just like my mother. I'm the spit image. Okay? One thing I love about my mother, we never knew. When her and my father divorced, we never, ever saw our mother being intimate or even suggesting intimacy with another man. Whatever she did, she did it away from us. And that's why I respect my queen mother. My mother never disrespected us, ever. And that's how you sisters got to be. I know it's hard to date. You a single mom, you need your time, you raising kids, you working hard. I know it ain't easy, sisters. That's why y'all need to get together and form sisterhoods. That's why black women need to get together and form sisterhoods. That's why black women need to get together. Because if you got a sisterhood, guess what? If sister A got to go on a date, the other sister's going to take them kids. If she got 5 kids, you might send 1 kid to each of the other sisters' houses so you can go on your date. You got another sister, she want to take a vacation for a week. She needs to get away from it all. She losing her mind, just got out of divorce. The other sisters will rally around her and support her. Black women need sisterhood, not church, not mosque, not conscious community. You need sisterhood. But you know why we ain't got sisterhood? What's one of the biggest reasons why we ain't got sisterhood with our sisters? You want to know what it is? One of the biggest reasons we ain't got sisterhood with our sisters is because sisters are competing with each other for a limited amount of men. Did y'all hear what I just said, black woman? The problem with the sisters is they competing with each other over a limited pool of available brothers. That's the problem. So it's hard to form a sisterhood when you think y'all have to compete over the same man. Y'all got to get over it. See, here's what I want women to know. Here's what I want sisters to know. I need y'all to know this. Let's say you live in a city where there's one man for every 10 sisters. Okay? You live in a city where there's one man for every 10 sisters. Let me break it down. Even though there's one man for every 10 sisters, the ratio ain't 1 to 10. The ratio ain't, sister, your outlook, your dating outlook is not as bad as it looks. Your dating outlook is not as bad as it looks. And I'm going to tell you why. If Dr. Umar Johnson is in a city with 1 to 10 women, if Dr. Umar Johnson is in a city with 1 to 10 women, guess what? 2 of those women are lesbians. No, damn that. 3 of those women are lesbians. Okay? 3 of them are lesbians. Okay? Now, I have a theory based on my clinical experience. Okay? Because I don't have to find white people's research. I don't need white people's research to validate me. I'm 20 years in this game. I stand on my own. I have a theory that a black woman who rejects black phallus because she is psycho-spiritual, genetically engineered by God to receive phallus, that she will never ever be at peace for the rest of her life without being injected with masculine energy. Okay? I'm not talking semen, I'm talking energy. I don't care how lesbian a black woman thinks she is. Okay? She will never feel complete without that other part. She will never feel complete without that other part because she is a giver and a receiver of masculine energy. Okay? So I would argue that our lesbian sisters, who I love, will always feel an incompleteness in them because they were not designed for each other. They were designed for the man. Facts. No disrespect. Facts. But anyway, 3 of those women are lesbians. 3 are gay. So now you're down, Dr. Umar's down from a 1 to 10 ratio to a 1 to 7. 1 to 7. Right? 1 to 7. 2 of them are crazy as hell. Mental illness, incapable of functioning within a relationship. You feel me? So now you're down to 1 to 5. 1 of those women are married. Now you're down 1 to 4. Another one of those women is almost divorced. And I'm going to talk about this almost divorced bullshit that a lot of black people be putting on other black people to. We all need to stay away from men and women who are almost divorced because they are trouble waiting to happen. Black women, I need you. Black women, I need you. Black women, I need you to stop dating men who are almost divorced. Ain't no such thing as almost divorced. You are either divorced or you married. What the hell is almost divorced? What is that? A half of a ring? What is that? You cut the divorce certificate in half. You cut the marriage certificate. What the hell is almost divorced? Ain't no such thing as almost divorced. But I'm going to tell you what it's going to cause you. It's going to get your ass almost dead when somebody find out you running around with a man. You will end up almost dead. Almost divorce will equal an almost ass whipping, or it can equal an almost dead. Stay away from almost divorced men, and sisters, and brothers need to stay away from almost divorced women. Brothers, you got to stay away from almost divorced women. We separated. How long y'all been separated? We've been separated for 5 years. 5 years? Really? And y'all still ain't getting no divorce? Why? And do you know what they tell you? I ain't got a divorce yet because he won't sign the papers. I ain't got a divorce yet because he won't sign the papers. Liar. You know why they ain't got a divorce yet? Because they don't want to sign them damn papers. They don't want to sign them damn papers. They want the cake and they want to eat it too. They want the cake and they want to eat it too. And if you dumb enough to invest your emotions into a person who ain't legally free, they ain't got their freedom papers yet. They ain't got their freedom papers yet. Why are you investing your emotions into somebody who ain't been legally freed from the bondage of their doomed marriage? Why are you investing emotions into a person who has not been legally freed from their doomed bondage? Stay the hell away from almost divorced. Now, ladies, you have to understand, as I just said, that 1 to 10 ratio ain't as bad. When you ultimately look at it, it comes down to about 1 to 3. It's really only about 1 to 3, 1 to 5. It ain't as bad as it looks because a lot of those women are already casualties of the war of dating. They are psychological casualties of love. Psychological casualties of love. Now, let me go back a step. Let me go back. Ladies, I need to tell you that it is never too late to work on your relationship with your father. It is never too late to build a relationship with a father figure. Okay? Now, there's 3 criteria that a man has to fulfill in order to be your father figure. He can't be both. He can't be your lover and your daddy. That's number 1. The first criteria, whomever you're going to, if your biological father is deceased, if you never knew him, you may be a foster child, adoptive child, whatever the case may be, you have to find you a father figure to love up on you, to give you unconditional, positive, appropriate advice. So number 1, whoever that father figure is, he cannot be a man you used to have sex with. And let me tell you, I've seen a lot of sisters try to have a man who they used to have sex with, like a sugar daddy. So when you were younger, you had a sugar daddy, this old geezer, okay? And this old man who was your sugar daddy, he no longer does anything for you. You got your own money, your own degree. Y'all just friends now. But he was your sugar daddy. And because he was your sugar daddy, okay, you feel he can now be your daddy. Can't work because y'all have a sexual bond. There's baggage there. Y'all had a sexual bond. That relationship cannot be purely supportive. It cannot be purely paternalistic because y'all had a sexual bond together. So your father figure has to be a man that you did not have a sexual bond with. It cannot be the sugar daddy you used to sleep with when you was 25 years old because there's baggage there. There's a history there. Okay? Psychologically, he registers as a romantic partner. He can register as a daddy as well. He registers as a romantic partner. Okay? And you're also going to find that you're not going to be able to be totally forthcoming with him because y'all have a previous romantic relationship. He can't be the father figure. Okay? Your uncle probably could. Your grandpa could be. But you got to make sure that this man, whoever he is, even if he's blood, he cannot have any ulterior motive for the relationship except to support you the way a father supports a daughter. You understand? A father, the only relationship I have with my daughters is one of love and support to help them be the best women they can be. That's it. And whenever a man has another ulterior motive for you, he can't be a father figure. So y'all need to take time, sisters who don't have biological fathers or biological fathers who ain't worth shit. You got to take time to find your appropriate paternal supporter. Your father figure, paternal support. So number 1, you could not have previously had a sexual relationship. Number 2, you cannot be sexually attracted to him. You cannot be sexually attractive to the man. Okay? Which means he needs to be older than you. He usually got to be significantly older than you. in most cases. You understand? For example, I'm 40, right? A lot of you sisters are in your 30s and your 40s, right? I can't be your father figure. First of all, I'm too close in age. Do you understand? I'm too close in age, so it's more brotherly. Okay? I'm single, you single. Okay? So there's always an opportunity that a cookie might get baked. There's an opportunity that you might be attracted to me. There's an opportunity I might be attracted to you. There's an opportunity that I might want to save you for later because I'm currently in a relationship right now, but you wifey material, so I want to hold you to the side. Do you understand? I cannot be your father figure. He needs to be old enough, at least a generation older, where he's beyond looking at you like that and you're beyond looking at him like that. He has no ulterior motive. I'm serious. Now, for sisters whose real dad are still alive, black woman, if your real father is still alive, if your real father is still alive while you have him on this earth, I suggest that you engage him and start to build the relationship y'all never had. I'm going to tell you, like I tell my therapy clients, it's never too late to build a positive relationship with your biological parents. It's never too late to build a positive relationship with your biological parents. It's never too late to build a positive relationship with your biological parents. But because some of you may have had fathers who were not there, some of you may have had fathers who didn't do a good job, you're going to have to humble yourself. You're going to have to humble yourself. You know why? Because you need something from a man who never did nothing for you. Or you need something from a man who never apologized to you for not being the father he should have been. So what you have to do is you have to humble yourself. And you need to go to your dad. And it may hurt you a little bit. But practicing humility is always a good thing. Practicing humility is always a good thing because it disarms the spirit. It exposes you as the vulnerable person we ultimately are. And only in vulnerability can you develop your divinity. Only in vulnerability can you develop your divinity. That's why they say the only way to truly love is to drop all your defenses. You can get hurt, but it's the only way to love, because in vulnerability is how we develop our divinity. When there's no protection, when there's no lying, when there's no defense, that's when you let the real you come out. Okay? So you need to go to your father, black woman, and say, look, Dad, I'm 45 years old. I'm 40 years old. I'm 30 years old. I'm 50 years old. Some of you 60, your dad still live. Daddy, I'm 60 years old. Because remember, psychological age, biological age don't mean shit. Biological age don't mean shit. It's all about the psychological age. Don't think you're too old to fix your relationships with your parents. If you still got them on earth, fix those relationships before they join the ancestors. You want to have a positive relationship with your parents before they join the ancestors, because when they get to the ancestral realm, they are in a position to help you even more effectively. When they join the ancestral realm, they are in a position to help you more effectively. So you need that to be positive, because you know ancestors can punish. Ancestors can punish. Ancestors can punish. Now for my Instagram people, my Instagram is going to stop in 2 minutes, but I'm going to start it right back up. Okay? So for those of you who are joining me on Instagram, it's going to stop in 2 minutes, but as soon as it stops, I'm going to bring it back up. Okay? And for the ladies on Instagram who are asking, is this being saved because you want to watch it later? Yes, you can go on over to my Facebook page. You can go on over to my Facebook page. My Facebook page is Dr. Umar Ifatunde. My Facebook page is Dr. Umar Ifatunde. Dr. Umar, Umar, last name Ifatunde. I is in independence, F is in freedom, A is in Africa, T is in together, U is in unity, N is in nationalism, D is in dedication, E is in eternity. Dr. Umar Ifatunde. Okay, the profile pic is my face, painted red, black, and green. The profile pic is my face, painted red, black, and green with the African continent. That was actually a flyer that was done for me by the good brother in Amsterdam, Holland. Shout out to my Amsterdam family over in Holland. Okay, Rotterdam, y'all will see me soon. I'm working on that return to the Netherlands. Okay, so once this shuts down on Instagram, come over to Facebook, but I will be starting it back up on Instagram. Okay, if you're on Facebook, we're going to continue to roll. We're going to continue to roll. Now, where was I at? I just had an ADHD moment. What was the last thing I just said, ladies? Help me out, ladies. What was the last thing I just said? What was the last thing I just said? What was the last thing I just said? Okay, the ancestors. There you go. Thank you, sister. Let me start Instagram back up. There we go. So we got Instagram back up. Okay. Go to your father and you say, Dad. Go to your father and you say, Dad, I forgive you for everything you did wrong in my life. None of us are perfect. I hurt. It's going to take me a while to get over it, but I forgive you. What I want you to do, okay, drop the guilt for the mistakes you made in my life. I need you to be a father to me now. I need you to be a father to me now. Are you listening to me, black woman? You need to go to your father. I don't care if he's a drunk, a drug addict, a deadbeat. Remember, he had his own life. He had his own life, and you don't know what that man went through. Same thing to the brothers watching this. Brothers, you don't know what your mother went through. She had her own life. Okay? Let's not be so high and mighty that we can judge our parents, because all of us will be parents too. And I believe that if you can't humble yourself to forgive your parents for their mistakes, then you are likely to repeat them yourself. If you can't humble yourself to forgive your parents for their mistakes, then you are likely to repeat those mistakes yourself. You're never too old to start a positive relationship with your dad. Go to your dad. Humble yourself. Now, some of y'all saying, I can't do that. That's ego talking. I can't do that. That's ego talking. Don't let your ego run your life. Your ego is the white man. Your spirit is the African. Your ego is the white man. Your spirit is the African. Your ego is the white man. Your spirit is your African. Do you understand me? Don't let your ego dictate your life. Live through spirit. Don't live through ego. Live through spirit. Don't live through ego. Go to your mom. Go to your dad. I forgive you. They don't have to say they sorry. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. When you forgive, you're saying that I'm humble enough to not hold a debt or a grudge against you for the wrongs you committed against me. When you forgive, you say, I am humble enough to not hold a grudge or a debt against you for the wrongs you have done against me. That takes spiritual strength. That takes humility, and that takes spiritual strength. Go to your dad. Start over. Start over. Come on, Dad. Let's do lunch once a week. Let's do dinner once a month. Ask him advice. Daddy, I'm dealing with a man. I want you to meet him. Let me know what you think. Because that's another big mistake y'all ladies make. Brothers, we make it too. And that is, we do not allow our opposite sex parent. We do not allow our opposite sex parent to meet our prospective mate before we make serious decisions about being with that person. If you're a woman, your father should always meet that man. If your father ain't grandfather, uncle, elders in the community, a man knows a man better than a woman ever could. A man knows another man better than a woman ever could, and a woman knows another woman better than a man ever could. Brother, you got to take her to your mom. Mom, what you think? Auntie, what you think? Grandma, what you think? They know because they belong to that gender fraternity. They know because they belong to that gender sorority. They know because they belong to that gender fraternity. They know because they belong to that gender sorority. Call on the wisdom of the elders. If you don't have elders in your family you can trust, then get elders from the community that you can trust. Facts. Now, somebody asked a question. But first, let me go back. On that Steve Harvey point, because I don't know if I completed that point, you should only introduce children to the men in your life who you are serious, very serious, and committed to going to the next step with. You should only introduce your children to the men in your life whom you are at a point with where you now feel serious enough about going to the next step. Black woman, you don't let your children meet men who are just flings or one night stands or passing time. They only meet men whom you are committed with. You know why? Because you want to be able to tell your child. You want to be able to tell your child, this is a very important person to mommy. This is a very important person to daddy. And I'm introducing them to you because if we decide to take this relationship to the next level, you're going to have to be at peace with them as much as I am, because you are my children. You are my children, and you come first in my life. And I need you to be at peace with him in order for me to be at peace with him. Black man, you got to tell your children, I need y'all to be at peace with her in order for me to be at peace with her. You have to say that. He needs to hear it. She needs to hear it. The children need to hear it. Only the serious people should meet the men or the women that you are intending to get eloped with. Okay? Now, somebody asked the question, what if your father is deceased? What if he has left the physical body? What do you do then? Well, I practice Ifa. Traditional African spirituality. I practice Ifa. So in traditional African spirituality, guess what? We don't die, we multiply. When we go to the Orun, when we transition from this life, we go to the Orun, we go to the next level. Now we're freed from the limitations of the physical body. If your father or mother has passed on, then it's time for you to build an ancestral altar and build that relationship with them. It's time for you to build an ancestral altar and build a relationship with them. Okay? That's right. That's right. And guess what? If the relationship you need with your dad is extremely critical, or your mom, in the case of my brothers, extremely critical, or even a same-sex parent, then they might need to have their own altar. Are you following me, ladies? So you have an altar for all of your ancestors. That's the ancestral altar. Ashe. Ancestral altar. Ashe. Now, because you're building a relationship with your deceased father, and y'all really didn't have a good relationship while he was living, you might want to give him his own separate altar. Ashe. Okay? Sometimes this becomes important. Okay? Because you're going to be working with your dad on the regular. Every time you cook, you're going to give your daddy a plate. You're going to burn a candle, some incense, put some fruit, get your daddy some flowers. When his birthday come around, you're going to put something on the altar for his birthday, Father's Day, something for Father's Day. And then every day, or once a week, or every other week, you're going to sit at that altar, okay? And you're going to call on your dad, and you're going to talk to him as if he was sitting right there, because he is. Daddy, there's some things I need to say to you. Daddy, I need some advice. Daddy, I'm dating this guy. I really like him, but I don't know. I need you to send me a sign, Daddy. Send me a sign in my dream, Daddy. Send me a sign in my daydream. Send me a sign in my vision. Send me a clairvoyant message, Daddy. Send me a clairaudient message, Daddy. Okay? Send me a clairsentient message, Daddy. Give me some message, Dad, to let me know if this is a good thing or not. I don't know if you're going to come to my dreams. I don't know if you're going to come through intuition. I don't know if you're going to send me a sign through another person or a message through another person's example. But Daddy, I need you. And it got to come from the heart, not the head. It got to come from the heart, not the head. One of the mistakes we make when we talk to our ancestors at our ancestral shrines is we don't come from the heart. We come from the head. This ain't about the head. It's about the heart. It's about spirit. Tell your dad you need some answers, but you got to feel it. You got to be convicted. And if you do that, guess what? You will get the answer. I do it all the time. When I went to Africa last week, I flew to Lesotho. I told my ancestors to send me a message about something. They did. But I work with my ancestors regularly. They don't get me to lying. I don't work as diligently as I need to. That's something that I need to improve upon. Okay? That's something that I need to improve upon. I need to improve upon that. Okay? Okay? But I do work with them probably more than a lot of you do. So when I ask for an answer, I may get my answer more than you guys because I've been working with spirit a little bit more consistently than some of you, just like other people who've been in the tradition longer than me. I've only been in the tradition since 2005, my first trip to Africa. This is 2017. So what's that? 12 years. Okay? You got other people been in the tradition 30, 40, 50. So I'm sure when they call their ancestors, they get a faster answer than I do. Okay, but ladies, your father deceased, build an altar. Brothers, your mother deceased, build an altar. Or even if your same-sex parent is deceased, build an altar. Now, somebody asked about what if your parent molested you and they're deceased? Do you want to deal with them? And to that, I would say the answer is only you. Nobody can answer that but you. Okay? You could be so hurt and dejected from that you cannot call on them. You may have to call on other male ancestors. You may have to call on other female ancestors. Some of you, your third eye might cut through the trauma and the pain and say, you know what? I need to reconcile with this person, because I can guarantee you, now that they are on the land of the heaven, they're on the other side, I know they feel bad for what they did. And if they can somehow offer an offering to you for the pain that they caused, okay, if they can somehow offer something to you for the pain that they caused, you'll get it. So all I would say is think long and deep before you turn your back on your ancestors, irrespective of the sins they committed in flesh, because now they in spirit. Now they in spirit, and they are in a position to do. I don't need to be careful with African culture. You need to be careful with that church and that mosque, my brother. But now they are in spirit. They are in a much better position to help you a whole lot more. Okay, now, let's get back. Now, let's talk about cheating. Let's talk about cheating, right? Cheating. Sisters is always asking Dr. Umar Johnson, what do you do when you find out your man cheat? I found out my man cheated. What am I supposed to do? He was sleeping with my best friend. He slept with my cousin. He slept with my sister. He slept with my co-worker. He slept with his baby mom. He slept. What do you do about cheating? This is going to be the whole chapter in the upcoming book. Who ready to pre-order that book? Who ready to pre-order that For Sisters Only Relationships in Dating book? Who ready to pre-order that book? Okay? Now, check this out. Before you confront a man about his cheating, before you confront a man about his cheating, you must already know. This is strategy. Relationship is strategy, ladies. Half of relationship is playing your cards right. That's right. Don't let nobody lie to you. Relationships are about power. Relationships are about power. I can't say this enough. Relationships are about power. Relationships are about power. When you come into a relationship, you have 50% of the power in the relationship. Your partner has 50% of the power in the relationship. I repeat, the man has 50% of the relationship and the power, and the woman has 50% of the relationship and the power. Okay? Now, this is political and military science. You have a balance. You want to keep it balanced. Relationships work best when each partner has a 50% ownership of it. When each partner has 50% power. But guess what, ladies? Y'all give y'all power away. Y'all give y'all power away. Don't confuse this. Please don't confuse this. I am not telling you that there's anything wrong with letting the man lead. You can let him lead and still keep your power. You can let the man be the head of the house, but why is he the head of the house? Because you, with your power, made a decision to let this man lead. And if he doesn't lead you correctly, you will take your power back. Did you hear me? Let's look at it from a government perspective. In a democracy, the people give their power to the government, power to the people, for the people, of the people, by the people, right? For the people, of the people, and by the people. So if the government don't do what the people want them to do, what do the people do? They take their power back from the government. Ladies, you do the same thing in the relationship. You tell him, I'm giving you the right to lead me. I'm giving you the authority to lead me. But don't you forget, I'm giving it. And if you misuse this authority that I'm giving you, if you misuse your leadership in this relationship, I will take my power back. But there's a problem in this. There's an issue in this black woman. And the issue in this sister is you can't take your power back if you gave it all away. You can't take your power back if you gave it all away. What do you mean, Dr. Umar, when you say, I can't take my power back if I gave it all away? I'm saying every time you make a promise or a threat, or if you go against a principle that you previously articulated in that relationship, you give a little bit of your ashe. You give a little bit of your power away. So sisters, I need you to stop giving your power away, because guess what? A woman who gives all her power away is no longer attractive. A woman who gives all her power away is no longer attractive. Because if you've given all your power away, that means you also ain't got no self-esteem. You ain't got no confidence. You ain't got no worth. You're probably a hopeless romantic. And in a little bit, we're going to talk about the 5 types of dysfunctional men and the 5 types of dysfunctional women. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But ladies, let me give you an example. You tell him, you better spend time with me every weekend. That's a principle that your man must spend time with you. We might go to the movies, we might go to dinner, but you better spend time with me. But guess what? He stopped spending time with you. He's no longer committing the time to you that you say that you need. And what did you do about it? Nothing. He called your bluff. Every time your man calls your bluff, you give him some of your power. I give you something else. You need to start paying this bill. You agreed that you would pay this bill. You ain't been paying this bill. I've been having to pay this bill for you because you've been wasting money on clothes and Timbs and rims and drinking and hanging out with the fellas and going to the Eagles games and going to the Sixers games and going to the Flyers games and going to the Phillies games. You said you would pay this bill. And then he told you, I don't want to pay it no more. You watch more cable than me anyway. Well, I got to pay the cable bill. But he committed to paying the cable bill, but he told you he ain't paying it no more. And guess what? You said, okay. You started paying the cable bill. You gave some more of your power away. You told him that he need to spend time with the kids. He ain't been spending time with the kids. You told him he better not miss your birthday again. He better not miss Mother's Day again. He better not miss Valentine's Day again. But he missed it. And you ain't do nothing about it. You gave your power away. And guess when women give the biggest power away? You want to know when you give the biggest piece of your power away? I'm going to tell you when you give the biggest piece of your power away. And that is as it relates to the topic that we are now talking about. And that is the topic of cheating. The topic of cheating. When a woman tells a man, you better never cheat on me or I'm leaving. First of all, I don't think you should ever say that. I don't think you should ever say that. I don't think you should ever tell a man, if you cheat on me, I'm leaving. Why? Dr. Umar, why you don't want me to tell a man that if he cheats, I'm leaving? Well, first of all, if you really going to do it, you don't have to give notice. If you really going to do it, you don't have to give notice. You know why you giving notice? You know why you saying if you cheat on me, I'ma leave? It's because you ain't too committed that you gonna leave. So you're trying to make him scared. You're selling a wolf ticket. You're selling a wolf ticket that your ass ain't gonna cash. You're trying to intimidate him into believing that if he cheats, you gonna leave when you know your ass ain't gonna leave. And guess what? He been sleeping with you for years. So he know you ain't gonna leave, because I done already told you earlier that a man can smell the self-esteem of a woman. The man can smell the self-confidence of a woman. The man can smell the self-image of a woman. The man can smell the self-confidence of a woman. So you cannot lie to a man who has already been inside of you. You can't lie to a man who's already penetrated you. You can't lie to a man who has already swam in your ocean. You can't lie to a man who has already had some of those cookies. He didn't have them cookies. He know how you work. He know how you operate. He know all that shit you saying out your mouth don't mean nothing. She gonna scream and she gonna cry and she gonna complain. But guess what? She ain't gonna go nowhere, because she got low self-esteem. And I know this because I done already did enough to her and she didn't stay. Ladies, never tell a man you're going to leave if he cheats. Why? Because if he cheats and you don't leave, if he cheats and you don't leave, guess what? Every time he cheated, you gave away 25% of your power. The first time he cheated, 25%. Second time he cheated, another 25%. Third time he cheated, another 25%. Fourth time he cheated, all your power gone. 25% times 4 is 100. It's gone. The best way to lose your power to a man is to threaten to leave and you don't leave. And this is not just about cheating. You might threaten to leave if he don't get a job. You might threaten to leave if he don't start spending time with the kids. You might threaten to leave if he don't start spending more time with you. You might threaten to leave if he don't clean. Whatever your principles are, ladies. When you lay down your principles to a man, and this goes for my brothers too. This goes to my brothers too. But ladies, whenever you lay down your principles to a man, you have to stick to them. Don't say it if you're not going to obey it. Don't say it if you're not going to obey it. Don't say it if you're not going to obey it. Don't say it if you're not going to obey it. Okay. I'm going to talk to the men, but I'm talking to y'all right now. Okay? I'm talking to you because you need this. Okay? All right? There's nothing worse than a sister calling up a man to tell him that I'm leaving you because you cheated and you don't leave. The worst thing is for a woman to tell a man, I'm leaving you because you cheated, but you don't leave. The minute you tell a man you leaving and your ass don't go nowhere, you have just told him how weak you are and how much control he has over you. So before you tell a man he cheated, as I said earlier, you must begin with the end in mind. Sisters, you must know what the end goal is. This is chess. This is chess. You need to ask yourself, am I staying or leaving? If I'm not leaving, I'm not going to say I'm leaving, because if I don't leave, I just gave him 25% of my power. That's right. That's right. So what should you say? You say, Doc, okay, if I can't tell him I'm leaving because I'm not going to leave and I don't want to give none of my power away, what should I do? Tell the truth. And what is the truth? What is the truth? What is the truth is, I love you. I don't want to leave you. I'm hurting because of what you just did. It hurts. And I can't leave right now because I love you. But I'm telling you this. I'm working on myself. I'm going to get me some help. I'm going to strengthen myself up. And if you keep up this behavior, I promise you one day, I'm going to be gone. You don't tell him when, you just say it. Tell the truth. If I had the strength, I would go right now. But I'm working on myself, and I promise you, if you keep this up, you're building my motivation. And one day you're going to come home, sir. One day you're going to come home, and I won't be there. Now, let me give you another technique, ladies. Let me tell you something else, ladies. I know y'all say y'all emotional beings. Women say that they are emotional beings, right? And I understand that, and I respect the fact that women say that they are emotional beings. But there's something else. There's a time to not be emotional. There's a time to not be emotional. There's a time to not be emotional. And let me tell you when you want to do your best to not be emotional. Okay? And that is when you have to communicate a very serious message to your mate. When you have to communicate a very serious message to your mate, you sit him down, you sit down, you pull over the car, you turn it off, nothing else. Whenever you serious, nothing else should be going on. That's a mistake women make. Are y'all listening to me, black women? Y'all have a bad habit of communicating important truths to your men while they doing other shit. You have a bad habit of communicating important truths to your men when you doing other shit. Stop doing that because it reduces the seriousness of what you have to say. Turn off the TV. Turn off the game, turn off the car, turn off the music, turn off the internet, stop the talk. Listen, I need to tell you something. No emotion. Ladies, trust me, when you need to tell him something that counts, take the emotion out. Why, Dr. Johnson? Why do I have to take the emotion out when I need to tell my man something important? The reason you need to take the emotion out when you have to tell your man something important is because emotions change. Emotions come and go. Emotions are up and down. Emotions are here 1 minute and emotions are gone the next minute. And if you tell him something while you are angry, he might not think it's important. She's just angry. She didn't mean it. She's just sad. She didn't mean it. She's just happy. She didn't mean it. She's just disappointed. She didn't mean it. So ladies, if you need to tell this man that he needs to start doing something, you want to look him in the eye very calmly and tell him, I've had enough of this and a change needs to happen soon. I ain't gonna say no more. And that's another mistake black women make. Y'all like communicating too specifically. Sometimes you don't need to be specific. Y'all want to put timelines on shit. The next time the bill come, you better pay it or I'm packing my kids up. There you go again. You're about to give away some more power. You're about to give away some more power. You know your ass ain't going to walk away from that 5-bedroom house with the swimming pool in the back. Stop lying. You ain't packing up the kids and going no damn where. Stop lying. Stop. There you go giving your power. Every time you lie, every time you say a threat and you don't fulfill it, you give away some power. Stop doing that. Keep it general. You ain't doing this. You ain't doing this. You ain't doing this. I need a change in my life soon, or I'm going to have to make a change. I need a change in my life soon, or I'm going to have to make a change. You tell a man that shit with a serious face, we like, oh shit. What she mean by that? And then he said, what you mean? I don't need to say nothing else. No emotion. No emotion. I need a change, or I'm going to be making a change. Another thing, sisters, stop texting. Stop texting the important messages. That needs to be face-to-face. Stop texting the important messages. It needs to be face-to-face. Stop texting the important messages. They need to be face-to-face. When you text a man a message that should have been told to his face, when you text a man a message that should have been told to his face, you're communicating insecurity. You're communicating a lack of confidence. You're communicating the absence of self-assuredness. If it was that important, if you really meant it, you would have told me to my face. If you didn't really mean it, you didn't really mean it. You ain't going no damn where. But you sent it in a text and you said, I hope he take it seriously. I hope he take it seriously. I hope he take it seriously. And guess what he did? He looked at that damn text and he laughed and kept on going. He know your ass ain't serious. Listen to me, ladies. You want to give your power away to a man? Keep on begging him to do what you need him to do. You want to give your, a lot of y'all be begging men. What you begging for? Once you start begging, you know you done already gave your power away. If you beg, a person begging ain't got no power. You don't beg when you have power. When you have power, you make a demand or a request, and that's that. People with power make a demand or a request. They don't do no begging. If you begging, that means you done already gave all your power away. That means he done did everything you told him not to do, and you ain't went nowhere. Stop telling people what your non-negotiables are if they are negotiable. And in a relationship, people should know up front what your non-negotiables are. In a relationship, people should know up front what your non-negotiables are. They should know what your non-negotiables are. But don't say they non-negotiable if they negotiable. For example, most women say cheating is a non-negotiable, but it's not. But it's not. Y'all stay. So stop lying because you're giving your power away. Know yourself. What did Sun Tzu say? You got to know yourself before you get in a relationship. Because if that man know you better than you, he owns you. If your man knows you better than you, he owns you. My daughter, 15 years old. My daughter, 15 years old, my oldest. 5 and 15. 5 and 15. If my 15-year-old come when she's, say, 18, and she say, Daddy, my boyfriend cheated on me, I'm going to say, first of all, wipe your eyes. We don't do weakness. We don't do weakness in this bloodline. We don't do weakness. We do strength. Wipe your damn eyes. That's the first thing. Wipe your eyes, get some water, let's sit down and talk. Okay? And then I'm going to give her the facts. If you go back, he going to do it again. That's number one. Number two, don't blame him, blame you. You made a bad decision somewhere. Okay? Number three, he's going to try to get back in with you because a man loves to conquer his prey. We love to control and conquer. We are conquerors by nature. Men are conquerors. He wants to know that he can still have you after what he did. So my question to you, my beautiful baby, who I love more than anything on this earth, what are you going to do? Because crying ain't solving shit. And I don't raise weak women. So what are you going to do? Because if you go back to him, don't ever come to me again about this conversation. Don't ever come to me about this conversation. Well, King, no, I'm not talking to him. Okay? If he disrespects you with his mouth or disrespects you with his hands, I'm going to go see him. If he disrespects you with his mouth or disrespects you with his hands, I'm going to go see him. But he ain't done that. He disrespected you with his behavior. He cheated. The question is, what are you going to do? Okay? That's how we're going to handle that. See, women, y'all got to start dealing from a perspective of power. Y'all got to stop this crying shit. That don't help y'all. That don't help y'all. And another thing, black women, y'all be saying stuff out of y'all mouth that communicates powerlessness. Y'all have to stop voluntarily telling him that he got all the damn power. Let me give you an example. I don't know what I'll do without you. Please don't leave me. I don't know what I'll do without you. I think about you all day. If I didn't have you in my life, I would die. If I didn't have you in my life, I don't think I could go on. If you don't stop your thirsty ass weak shit, that's weak thirst. You don't tell no man no shit like that. I don't know what I'll do when I love you so I'ma kill myself. I'ma kill. If you leave me, I'ma hurt myself. That's some weak ass thirsty shit. Wipe your eyes, throw some cold water on your face, and get back in the game. Dating can be dangerous. Dating is dangerous. Dating is treacherous. Dating is deadly. Do not proceed unless you accept full responsibility for the consequences of your actions. Dating is a dangerous game. Do not proceed unless you accept full consequences for your actions. Now, then the questions come. Now, let me say this. Let me stretch my back. Okay. I'm sitting straight up. You know, tall brother. Sometimes we got them lower back issues. Okay. You can get your power back. You can get your power back. How do you get your power back? A lot of you ladies listening to this, you done already gave your power away. He been walking over your ass for 10, 20 years. Is it too late? It's never too late. It's never too late. It's never too late. It's never too late. Okay? I'm Big Papa. You understand me? Hold on. Let me deal with this Negro real quick. Where his ass at? Where we go? Where we go? Right here. Nah, that ain't it. He hiding. He hiding. Where he at? I gotta delete somebody real quick. One of my hoteppers. He want to be me and he can't, so he mad. Let me get him out of here. There you go. Boom. Got him. Whoop. He gone. Okay, let's get back to where we at. Okay, you can take your power back, ladies, by a sudden, drastic move that he did not anticipate. Deception is the art of warfare. Deception is the art of warfare. Surprise is the element of warfare. Surprise is the element of warfare. If a woman ain't had no power, she gave all her power away to the man 10, 20, 30 years. What do Dr. Umar Johnson recommend? A drastic change from your predictable behavior. You know what that means? I'm going to tell you what you do. This is good when your man cheat too. This is real, real good. You know what? You disappointed me. This is what you tell him. Quote, you know what? You disappointed me. I'm going to need some time away from you. We can't stand that shit. I'm going to need some time away from you. So for the next week, or you might even say for the next week or two, don't even tell him when you're coming back. For the next week or two, I'm going to be moving out the house. I'm still here, we still together, but I need a week or two to myself. Okay? This is what the kids need, da-da-da-da-da. I got their cell phone. I'm going to let them know, Mommy, just take a little vacation, da-da-da-da-da. Okay? If you got any questions about the bills or the kids, anything with the house, text me. Right? He going to want to know where you're going. He going to want to know where you stand. He going to know who you with. You don't tell him none of that. You can't be weak. See, that weak shit, this is where that weak shit, oh, I'm going to be over. You do. The whole point is for him not to know where you at, so his ass will think twice next time before he do something you don't want him to do. If you tell him everything, then it's not gonna work. So get your thirst under control with your thirsty ass. You don't tell him that. You say, I'm going away for a week or two. I'll be back. Don't tell him where you're going or none of that. And whoever you going with, your sister, your cousin, you got to make sure they don't talk too damn much. Because y'all women, y'all talk too much. Don't know when to shut up. Because your cousin will tell her boyfriend, and her boyfriend will tell her homie, and the homie know your man, and now your man know where you're at because you're big mouth cousin. So you might got to go and do an Airbnb or get a hotel or something because you can't. Sometimes the women in your family will play a hate on you, right? And he gonna be calling you, where you at? I need to see you. Don't even answer. Don't respond. And then all of a sudden, without him even, don't even tell him when you're coming back. All of a sudden, you just show up back home. He gonna be looking like, where the hell you been? It's none of your concern. You don't have the right to ask me where I've been. You don't have a right to know what I was doing. You messed up and I took a break. And guess what? The next time you mess up, I'm going to take another break. He got to think about that now. He going to have to get more clever with his game, or he going to have to fall back because you just took your power back. See, when he took all your power, he ain't give a damn about what you was thinking. You don't even count. You ain't nothing but a mat to be walked over. You an old dirty rug. Okay? But now you done took your power back. And so now he got to consider you now when you make when he makes his decisions. So ladies, you can always take your power back. But see, another thing too, I notice black women, some of y'all complain too much about nothing. I'm going to be real. One of the best ways to erode the peace of mind in a relationship is to be complaining too damn much. Fellas, you hear me, fellas? Complaining too much. Don't nobody want to hear that shit all day long. If you're miserable, you shouldn't be in the relationship. Like if you say, Dr. Umar, I have to complain all day. I have to complain because he always doing shit wrong. Then why are you with him? Why are you in a relationship that is not fulfilling? If you got to complain all day, you shouldn't be here. And if you staying, it's because your ass is thirsty. Okay? Okay? You don't want to be thirsty. Thirsty girls lose. That's the first rule. I'm going to tell you right now, ladies. Never appear thirsty. Never appear thirsty. Thirsty girls lose. Okay? Especially when you're going out on those first dates, those initial dates, that first 6 months. You don't ever communicate no thirsty. You never say stuff like, I'm tired of being alone. I could really use somebody in my life right now. This is thirst. This is thirst. I ain't had a man in 3-4 years. This is thirst. Find something else to talk about. Okay? Stop communicating thirst, because thirsty women, I'm going to tell you now, he won't take you serious if you're thirsty. Because if you thirsty for him, you'll be thirsty for somebody else. He not going to take you serious. Thirsty women are not attractive. They might be a hit and run, but they not attractive. Don't communicate the thirst. Okay? Don't communicate the thirst. Thirsty girls finish last. Okay? So then women say, when can I give him some cookies? Rule number 1. There is no rule on when you should give him the cookies. Rule number 1. There is no rule when you should give up the cookies. But I will say this. One of the rules, okay, is the man should not have more sexual control than you do. The man should not have more sexual control than you do. If you're dating a man who has more sexual control than you do, that's not good. If I got more sexual control than a woman, that's not good at all. Not only does that mean you're thirsty, that means I'm going to control the hell out of this relationship. The woman should always have more sexual control than the man. If you pushing more than him, that's some thirsty, desperate shit. He might hit, and then he might quit. He might hit, and then he might quit. Stop being thirsty. Okay? And sometimes you don't have to communicate thirst with your mouth. You can communicate thirst with your dress code. You can communicate thirst with the way you walk and act. Women who dress excessively sexually provocative, that's thirsty. That's thirsty. The super mini skirt with the titties hanging all out, tramp stamp on the back, all your baby dads going down your arm, that's some thirsty shit. Okay? I'm going to tell you something else. Women with children, listen to me. Women with children, listen to me. Women with children, I got something to say. If you got babies at home, you are expected to be thirsty because you have children. Women with children, especially women with more than one child. And the more kids you have, the thirstier you are expected to be. The more children you have, the thirstier you are expected to be. Women with children have to be especially careful. Women with children have to be especially cautious. Women with children have to be especially in control of your thirst, because you are expected to be extra thirsty because you have children. So when you date, you have to really make it clear through your behavior that ain't nothing popping. That's right. That's right. Because your control increases your respect. Your control increases your respect. Your control increases your respect. I'm not saying that you got to be a virgin until you get married. Okay? Because most of us would be a fool to get married having not experienced the other person's intimacy, because you have to make sure that they can please you. Okay? There's nothing worse than a man with a woman who can't please him in the bed, or a woman with a man who can't please her in the bed. You understand that? So they got to be able to please you. But I'm saying the longer you hold out, the better. The longer you hold out, the better. Okay? My rule, first 3 dates, you don't go into his house. First 3 dates, he don't come into yours. Minimally. You can make it longer than this, but minimally. Minimally. Okay? Okay? And don't play with them either. What I mean by some sisters, they'll let you go so far, but they won't let you cross the finish line, right? Don't play with him. If he ain't getting none till you ready, don't play with him. It should be nothing more than kisses and hugs. Kisses and hugs. Once you start taking off underclothing and all this kind of stuff, and then don't even play with him. Hold your ground. Don't even play with him. Don't even incite his imagination. Don't even play with him. Okay? Don't even play with him. Keep it strictly where it needs to be kept until you're ready to cross that line. Now, there is a warning, ladies. I do have a warning for those of you who wait, and I do recommend you wait, and the longer is the better. Yes, the longer is the better. But see, what some women do is they say, if I make him wait too long, he gonna move on. He might move on for the moment. But if you are a quality queen, if you are a quality queen versus the thirsty thought, if you are a quality queen versus the thirsty thought, if you are a quality queen versus the thirsty thought, he will come back to the quality queen. It might be a year. It might be 2 years. It might be 3 years. But I can guarantee you, okay, that if you are a woman of substance, there's a high likelihood he will return back when he becomes the man that you need. See, he might not be what you need him to be right now. And you looking at yourself like, I lost a good guy. Not necessarily. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. He went, did what he had to do, and then he may resurface later. It is your job to hold your ground, because sometimes you got to let one go for a better one to find you. And you got to be patient enough to let the universe work its magic. You got to be patient enough to let the universe work its magic long enough to bring you what you need. Be patient. Shut down your oven and stop baking cookies. Because a big problem with women, okay, is y'all got to take a time out from the sex. Stop sexing. You are internal. And because you are internal, every man that you lay with deposits his spiritual energy into you. I'm not talking semen. I'm talking ashe. Ashe. This is spiritual ashe. So you keep sleeping with him, then you sleep with him, then you sleep with him, and then you got a nasty attitude. You mean, you hate men, but the problem is you ain't got no sexual discipline. You ain't got no sexual discipline. You ain't got no sexual discipline. Black woman, you have to go on a sexual fast. Okay? And you have to cater to your vagina. That's right. You have to cater to your vagina. You got to purr your kitten. Purr your kitten. Okay? Give your kitten a rest. Okay? Eat a nice smoothie to get the juices working. Okay? Let all the internal hardware take a break. Take a nice rose bath. A nice frankincense bath. You got to give reverence to your womb. A lot of sisters don't give reverence to your womb. And guess what? When you don't give reverence to your womb, black woman, when you don't give reverence to your womb, when you don't take care of the womb, because remember, your womb is a portal. The black woman's womb is a portal. God sends all of us back to earth through your portal. Your womb is the divine gateway for the reincarnation of ancestral power. Your vagina is a divine portal. It's a portal. God sends life through your womb. You got to reverence that and take care of that. Because we talk about sexually transmitted diseases, but you got to talk about spiritually transmitted diseases. And the spiritually transmitted diseases are worse than the sexually transmitted disease. I said the spiritually transmitted diseases are worse than the sexually transmitted disease. The spiritually transmitted diseases are worse than the sexually transmitted diseases. See, black woman, you have a lot of spiritual vampires floating around. A lot of spiritual vampires. These are unhappy, unhealthy men. And if there's brothers listening, brothers, you got sisters who are spiritual, unhappy, unhealthy women, unhappy, unhealthy men who want to come into your life and unload all their emotional baggage. You ever dealt with a spiritual vampire? Have any of you ever dealt with a spiritual vampire? Someone who appeared happy and healthy? Someone who appeared happy and healthy, but the longer the relationship went on. Someone who appeared happy and healthy, but the longer the relationship went on, you start seeing signs of depression. You start seeing signs of bipolar. You start seeing signs of alcoholism. You start seeing signs of weed addiction. This is spiritual vampire. And black woman, I'm going to tell you right now, because sisters are good for this. Sisters are good. Brothers don't do this. Brothers don't like to serve as the spiritual rehabilitation therapist for they women. When a brother runs into a psychologically unhealthy woman, we drop them, we roll. Brothers ain't got time for it. If you psychologically unhealthy, you talking to yourself and shit, cutting the bald spot down the middle of your head, you got issues, you choking cats and shit, okay, eating raw maggots, brother gonna drop you, he gonna roll. Brother gonna roll. Okay? Okay? All right, let me get rid of this right here. Another hater. Okay? Brother gonna roll. But what sisters do is sisters like to hang around and try to fix men. Sisters like to hang around and try to fix men. Ladies, don't try to fix no man. You can't fix nobody. One of the biggest problems we have is people think they can fix people. You can't fix nobody. You can't. Listen, the human personality is largely fixed at 5 years old. The human personality is largely fixed at 5 years old. By the time you're 15, you pretty much gonna be who you are for the rest of your life. By the time you're 25, you ain't changing for nobody. And by the time you're 35, it's gonna take an act of God. By the time somebody is 35, it's gonna take an act of God to change them from who they are. Who in the hell made you so special that you're going to turn a drunk into a diplomat? Who in the hell that made you so special that you're going to change a lazy Negro into a lawyer? Who that made you so special that you gonna turn the corner playboy into the next president of the United States. You cannot change nobody. When you meet somebody, male or female, when you meet somebody, you need to ask yourself the question, can I love this person as they are if they never change for the rest of my life? Can I love this person as they are if they never change for the rest of my life? Can I love this person as they are if they never changed for the rest of my life? See, the problem with y'all, men and women, is y'all like 75%. Y'all like 75% of what y'all see. 75%. The other 25 you don't like. But guess what? Guess what? You try to ignore it. You try to ignore the 75% you don't like. But what you fail to realize is in relationships, problems don't get better, they get worse. You think because he committed to you, he gonna stop doing what he doing? Black man, you think because you put a ring on her finger, she gonna stop chasing you and stalking you and whining? And no, it's gonna get worse. Marriage doesn't solve mental illness. Facts. Marriage doesn't solve mental illness. Marriage doesn't solve mental illness. Facts. The book is coming soon. Sisters, the book is coming soon. For sisters only, relationships and dating. The rules of romance. The book is coming soon. Okay? Also, again, speaking engagements, Dr. Umar Speaks at yahoo.com. Summer is filled up. My summer schedule is pretty much filled up. I got a couple days in there. I got a couple weekends, a couple weekdays, but now I'm taking bookings for the fall. We're looking at September through December right now. We're looking at September for December, so if you need the prints to come on out, colleges included, send that email, Dr. Umar Speaks at yahoo.com. Dr. Umar Speaks at yahoo.com. Dr. Umar Speaks at yahoo.com. And guess what else, ladies? Guess what else, ladies? Guess what else, ladies? Stop getting advice from miserable ass women. I don't understand why black women go to women who ain't got no man or can't keep a man or can't stand a man. Why do you go to them to get advice about your relationship? What in the hell can a miserable, lonely, thirsty ass woman tell you about your relationship? You got to stop doing that crap. If you want relationship advice, go to a woman who has a relationship. It's common sense, right? Go to a woman who has a relationship. But y'all don't do that. Y'all don't go to a woman who has a relationship. Y'all go to women who ain't got no relationship. That don't make no damn sense. That don't make no damn sense, but that's what y'all do. I know why y'all do it, because Shay, that's your best friend from high school. And Shaniqua, that was your roommate in college. And Shaquita, y'all pledged Delta together. And Shanae, y'all pledged AKA together. And she been your girl since she was a freshman. I understand. They your girls. I understand. But that don't mean that they should be giving you advice. They're your girls, but that don't mean she should be giving you advice about love. Okay? If you want good relationship advice, go to somebody in a good relationship. You want bad relationship advice, go to somebody who's in a bad relationship or ain't got one. Is this beneficial, ladies? Give me a heart. If not, I'll go ahead and wrap it up and let y'all get back to work. I know it's afternoon. If this is beneficial, ladies, I need some hearts from the queens to let me know I need to keep going. If not, I'll go ahead and start wrap it up. I need some hearts. Okay, there we go. I need to know that y'all backing your brother. I need to know that y'all backing your brother. All right. Now, I'm going to do a quick little detour and talk about revolutionary love for a minute, and then I'm going to come back. But this is what I need to do real quick. If y'all can Pardon me. I need to use the men's room for a hot minute. Okay. Y'all good, ladies? Let me handle this again real quick. Do-do-do-do. All right. Somebody said wash them hands. Y'all damn trip. I did wash my hands. Cut it out. Got my Japanese snacks. Can't even open my Tokyo snacks. I don't drink cow's milk, brother. But I'm about to eat me a Japanese snack. I did close the door, Veronica. I closed the door. I can't open it up. Japanese snack. Okay. Revolutionary love. Let me tell you something. If you're not trying to help a revolutionary with his work, don't date revolutionaries. I'm not talking about hoteppers who just making $1. You can date them. I'm talking about real black men who trying to make a real change in the life of their people. Don't date us. I'm serious about my work. And any woman who ain't going to respect my work, I'm going to cut her ass off. Don't date revolutionaries if you ain't revolutionary minded. You don't have to be a revolutionary, but you got to be supportive of the mission. Okay? So with that being said, 3 tips, and then I'm going to move back on. Number 1, if you got a big ass mouth, don't date a revolutionary. Okay? You got to love the struggle enough to keep your goddamn mouth shut. And some of y'all, as soon as you date somebody who got a little bit of status, you start running your damn mouth. Okay? All kind of post and unnecessary stuff out your mouth because you need to be seen. There's nothing worse than a woman who loves the spotlight when you're a man who already has it. There's nothing worse than a woman who loves the spotlight when you are a man who already has the spotlight. Okay? So you can't have a big ass mouth. You have to be willing to do some work. I'm going to tell you something. When I look over my career within the Black Conscious Movement, it's amazing the amount of women who are attracted to the Prince of Pan-Africanism, but they don't want to do no work. They literally think that you just want a pretty thing on your arm. What the hell do I care about a pretty thing on my arm? You're going to be put to work. You will be working. My wife or wives will be working. Do you understand me? Your ass won't just be showing up to lectures with your favorite outfit on from the $10 store trying to look cute. That will not be what's going on. Okay? Anyway. Anybody want some Tokyo snacks? Okay. Now, let me get back. Listen to this, Queen. Listen to this. Remember how I said the longer you can go, the better? The longer you can go, the better, right? Sexually. It's good. There's only one exception. And that exception is if you make a man wait a long time and you finally decide to share your intimacy with that man and you hit him with the loosey-goosey. I'm telling you right now, if you make a man wait all that time, months or years or seasons, and you hit his ass with a loosey-goosey, you're going to be in trouble. It's nothing worse than a woman that make you wait for a long time and then hit you with a loosey-goosey. Okay? Okay? A soupy loosey-goosey, a super loosey-goosey. Don't you hit no man with a super loosey-goosey. Because do you know what that tells him? Guess what that tells the man? That tells the man that although you made him wait, you had other people who ain't been waiting. Okay? Okay? That loosey-goosey will get your ass left alone. Don't you hit no man with no loosey-goosey. And then some of you women be running around talking about, I ain't been with nobody in 5 years. I ain't been with nobody since I had my daughter. She 12. I ain't been with nobody in 2 years. I ain't been with nobody in 18 months. And then all of a sudden, the loosey-goosey. The loosey-goosey. You buck, 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 buck. Don't nobody want no loosey-goosey. Keep that loosey-goosey to yourself. Okay? Okay? I'm serious, ladies. And the other thing too, black woman. Y'all have to stop volunteering information about your sexual history. Stop volunteering information about your sexual history. Stop volunteering information about your sexual history. Okay? Women love to volunteer when the last time they were intimate. Nobody asked you that shit. I didn't ask you but y'all love to do it. You know why? That's called guilt. That's called insecurity. That's called trying to manufacture a certain image for the man you're dating. Keep it to yourself. Listen, any experienced man is going to be able to arrive at a very close approximation of when the last time you were intimate, when you finally decide to be intimate with him. Did you hear me? You don't have to tell me nothing. You ain't got to tell no man nothing. He will be able to date you. Do you know what I mean when I say date you? That means after you all have been intimate, he will be able to say, probably about a year, he will be able to say, it might have been 2 years. He will be able to say, it was only 2 minutes, loosey-goosey. 2 minutes, the loosey-goosey. He might find out it was 2 days, the loosey-goosey. So ladies, stop getting yourself in trouble with that old tired loosey-goosey by running around lying, talking about you ain't been with nobody in 2-3 years. Okay? Because that's not going to help you. It's better to say nothing than to say you ain't been with nobody. And then them gooses start goose, 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 goose. You don't need them gooses. Okay? Now the ladies, I'm going to talk about polygamy for a minute and then I'm going to round it out. Again, if you want to host a For Sisters Only seminar, okay, send the email drumarspeaks@yahoo.com. DRUMAR speaks@yahoo.com. This is just a teaser. This is just a teaser. I can do a For Sisters Only seminar for 24 hours straight without stopping. That's how much information I got. That's how much information I got. Okay, I can do it for sisters only. I'm going to do a brothers only one too, brothers. Brothers, I'm coming with the brothers only. Don't worry about that. I got to hold down the kings. Okay? Okay? Well, whatever excuses you have for your goose, that's between you and your goose. But I'm going to tell you right now, a hard-working man who loving on his woman, he don't want no loosey-goosey. I'm going to tell you that right now. If it's a muscle, then you need to exercise that damn muscle. Okay? But I'm going to tell you what happens with some of y'all ladies. You want to know what happens? Let me tell you what happens. Especially you very attractive women. Should I try these? What do y'all think? Should I try some more Tokyo bites? Okay. What happens is when you start having sex young, you know, y'all real pretty women who develop earlier, you be 15 dating 25-year-old men. Okay, you be 17 dating 30-year-old men. It takes a toll on your body. And it takes a toll on your goose. That's right. That cookie jar start getting loose. That cookie jar don't stay tight no more. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And see, even though it's a muscle, and even though you can regenerate the goose, what you need to understand is them cookies get crushed too much, they might can't be baked anymore. And what happens is some of y'all, so many men, you done gave up so much of your ashe to these men. In and out, different penis, different penis, different penis, different penis, different penis. And what happens is your vagina stops responding because it's being abused. Your vagina stops responding because it's being abused. Your goose stops responding. The cookie jar stops responding because it's being abused. When you abuse your vagina, when you don't reverence the divine portal, it will go out of order. You might as well put an out of order sign on it. That means the lubrication ain't working no more. That means the thermometer ain't working no more. Okay? And that means the muscle ain't working no more. And those are the three aspects or dimensions of good cookies. Okay? Lubrication, temperature, and tightness. Lubrication, temperature, and tightness. Just like a lot of women are dehydrated. A lot of y'all don't drink appropriate fluid. So your body retains a lot of fluid, or it don't have enough fluid. So the lubrication don't come. You understand? So you got to take care of your womb. It needs to take a break. You got to give it a break. Not just when you're on your cycle. See, most of you sisters, the only time you fast is when you're on your cycle. That's not enough. You need to fast beyond that. Reverence the divine portal. Okay? And you got to keep it smelling fresh, just like cookies. You want to smell some good cookies. Good cookies. Okay? Some of y'all, the cookies ain't smelling cool. You got to put an incense in there, some frankincense juice or something. Okay? So take care of the cookies. Drink some water. Take your baths. Oh my God. Somebody on Instagram just said, and we just picking with you ladies. You know that. I love all of you. Loose goose, tight goose, but I'll never be with a loose goose. Somebody just said there's too many miles on the cookies. Too many miles on the cookies. That's crazy. But that's true. Just like a car. You put too many miles on that goose, and that goose gonna break down. You got to give it a tune-up. Give your goose a tune-up, ladies. The goose needs a tune-up. Okay? Now, we got to talk about something else. Ain't no such thing as a scentless goose, my queen. No such thing. No such thing. Every woman has a scent. Every woman has a scent. This how some of y'all know when y'all men been out, because y'all can smell the woman's scent. Every woman has a scent. And it's generally a pleasing scent. Men are engineered by nature to pick up on those hormones that women elicit when they're ready for intimacy. You understand? So women have a scent. Okay? I've never heard of a scentless goose. Okay? I always want the cookies to have a little bit of an aroma. Okay? Because those hormones mix with the man hormones, and that's how we go to another level within that intimacy. Okay? Somebody said, how do you, oh God, transvestites. But let me say, black women, I'm concerned for y'all because the homosexual war against black males has created a phenomenon for black women where y'all need to be careful that you don't end up with a bisexual brother in case that's not what you into. Hopefully it's not what you into, but some of y'all might be into it. Okay? Well, let me back up for a minute. And I know I'm being comical, ladies. I know I'm being comical, but I just got to say it. Listen. Underwear are meant to be thrown away ever so often. I know you may have your favorite pair of undies, your favorite thong, whatever you got. Okay? But please recycle the underwear. Okay? You can go to the $10 store and get you some nice undies. Okay? If you can't afford the Victoria's Secret or whatever going on, you can get you some Afrocentric undies. I saw a company, they make Afrocentric lingerie. But will you please don't get into a man's bed with some grandma panties on. Can you please don't get in a man's bed with grandma's panties on, okay? Because that shit will send me out the bed. I'm going to the couch. Better yet, I'm sleeping in a car because you got in my bed with some 1865 grandmother panties on. Cut it out. So, anyway, sisters need to be very careful, okay, about the bisexual thing. And one of my issues with the homosexual movement is that the homosexual movement, no, I didn't say they were dirty. I said they were old. The elastic is coming out. They used to be white. Now they lemon color. Okay, they were naturally white. Now the underwear are lemon, or they were naturally yellow. Now they're earth brown because they're dingy. They need to be burned. Get you some new drawers. Make them if you got to. Get a diaper or something, but change. But anyway, you got 150 pair that you recycle every month. I don't know. You might got some mental issues, but anyway, anyway, okay. Misogynistic talk. Let me get this out of here. Anyway, sisters, you got to be careful about the bisexual thing. And see, one of the issues I have with the LGBTQI is they haven't had a single campaign yet to highlight the fact that bisexual gay black men are sleeping with heterosexual black women and they are not giving them informed consent. That is wrong and it is dangerous, and the black LGBTQI community has yet to stand up for heterosexual black women and chastise the gay black men, the bisexual brothers, and do a whole campaign, a whole propaganda and education campaign around bisexual men misleading straight black women. So sisters, y'all have to be very careful. Okay? So let me give you a couple tools. If you catch your man doing any one of these 5 things, I want you to be careful. If you catch your man doing any one of these 5 things, I want you to be very, 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 very careful. Okay? Number 1, if you ever walk into the bathroom or walk into the dressing room or walk into the bedroom or the living room or any room in your house that has mirrors, okay? This is warning number 1, sisters. If you walk into a room that has mirrors and you catch your man twerking in the mirror while looking at his ass, I suggest you pack up your clothes and move the hell out of that house. Because no heterosexual man is going to be twerking in the mirror while looking at his ass. You need to be careful. So that's number 1. That's number 1. Number two, if you ever number two, if you ever accidentally catch your man wearing your underclothing, if he accidentally puts on your underclothing, that is a warning sign, because women's underwear has a seat in it. Men's underwear don't have a seat. So if you catch your man wearing seated panties, you should run. That's warning number two. Warning number three. If your man gets his eyelashes arched and his eyebrows done and his fingernails done more regularly than you, okay? If he has metrosexual tendencies, if he's cuter than you, prettier than you, more concerned with his looks than you, then you need to run. Number four, very important. Number four, if you, when being intimate with your man, if your man prefers to visit you through your back door instead of your front, whenever he wants to visit, he never comes through the front door. God made the front door for a reason, because it's the only door that you're supposed to go in. You take stuff out the back door. You don't bring stuff in the back door. You take stuff out the back door. So if your man loves to visit you through the back door, he always knocking at the back. You like the front door is ready for you. Why are you always knocking at the back? If your man likes knocking at the back, then chances are he is a switch hitter. And switch hitters are dangerous. That's your AIDS, that's your anal warts, that's your hepatitis, okay? Your anus is a direct route to your bloodstream, black woman. Your anus is a direct route to your bloodstream, black woman. Remember when we were children, certain shots they put in your anus because it goes straight to your blood supply. So you sisters got to be careful. AIDS is the #1 killer of middle-aged black women on the face of the earth. Sisters have to be careful, ladies. Please be careful. If he wants to visit you through the back door, I want you to lock the back door. Lock it. Lock it. Okay? And guess what else? Guess what else? If he can only climax in your back door, if he can only climax visiting you through the back door, if he can only orgasm visiting you through the back door, do you know what that means? Do I have to sit here and tell you what that means? That your man not only prefers the back door, he can only climax in the back door? You are dealing with a homosexual male. And some of you women, because you so addicted to materialism, because these down low brothers buy you everything and they treat you so good, you try to act like you don't know that there's a homosexual agenda going on in your house because you like that Benz and you like all those fancy restaurants he take you to. So you take that test. You take that test and find out he done passed off. See, if you think he's homosexual, okay, you should always meet. Well, you said, Sister Rodnita said, maybe he wants to come through the back door because she got a loosey-goosey. Let me answer this. You said maybe he wants to visit her through the back door because she has a loosey-goosey. My answer to that, my queen, is bullshit. If a woman got a loosey-goosey, I'm not visiting her at all. I'm out. You understand me? I'm going to go get her a goose care package. I'm going to get her Repair Your Goose package. It's going to have some Epsom salt and some rose water. And some incense. Okay? And some flowers. And some holy water to tighten that goose up. Ain't no real man going to say, since your goose is loose, I'm going to turn you around. Because the anus don't even register in a real man's head. Ain't no real man going to say, I'm going to turn you around because the goose is loose and I'm coming in this way. Nah, family. Nah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. If anybody want to buy a Dr. Papa Repair Your Goose rehab package, I'm selling them for $69.99, and you can get them on Eventbrite starting tomorrow. Free shipping. Repair that goose rehab package. Oh God. I'm just picking. You know I love my sisters. I love my sisters. So, be careful with the bisexuality. You need to study your man's social network. Study the guys that he hang with. It's very important that you study the guys that he hang with, because straight men don't hang with gay men. Straight men don't hang with gay men. Straight men don't hang with gay men. So what you need to do is host an event at your house. You need to host an event at your house and invite all your men's friends over. All of them. You want to see all of them. 20 of them, 10 of them, you want them all. Because guess what? If your man is bisexual, there's a certain friend that he talks to all the time, but you never met. If your man got a friend who he real close with, real tight with, they talk all the time, they text all the time, they hang out all the time, but you never see him, that is a warning sign. Why isn't he introducing his number one homie to his wife? You know why he may not be introducing you to his number one homie? Because his number one homie might be your co-wife. His number one homie might be your co-wife. So he don't want to introduce y'all to each other. Thank you, Sister Anna Middlebrooks. Ain't no goose so broken that a real man would prefer the back door over the cookie. That's right, baby. That's right. Because a real man loves cookies. Butter almond cookies. Butter pecan cookies. Lemon cookies. Chocolate cookies. Caramel cookies. Brown sugar cookies. Soft back caramel cookies. Cookies. Whatever you do, ladies, stay away from the booty warriors. Don't you go out on these streets and get you no booty warrior. Okay? Stay away from them booty warriors, because they out there down low. They got money, they got jobs, they got degrees. But you can pick it up in the spirit. Because I've dated women where their spirit told me she deals with women. You can just tell. Because see, as African people, we are very spiritual. As African people, we are very spiritual, so we can pick up energy. Ain't nobody got to tell us no. We can just read people. We could just read people. You understand? So if you pick up that energy, that something ain't right. If I pick up an energy in a woman that something ain't right, that's it. I don't need no damn proof. The problem with some of you women is you waiting too long for proof. Damn that proof. When your ori, when your intuition speaks to you, ashe, then you need to adhere that and you need to move on. Now, I'm going to end our discussion with a brief conversation on polygamy, polygyny, polyandry. Now, let me be clear now. Sisters, let's keep it real, sisters. Can we keep it real? You have just as many polyandrous women as you have polygynous men. You have just as many polyandrous women as you have polygynous men. A lot of you sisters have a male kingdom, just like the brothers have a female queendom. A lot of you sisters have a male kingdom, It's like a lot of brothers have a female queendom. Don't lie. Don't lie. Because even the research says that women's sexual appetite is just as strong as a man. And the older y'all get, the more sexual energy y'all crave as women. Okay, so let's just keep it real. If this goes, we just got a lot of OPP going on. Okay, and we need to tighten it up. But see, I really do believe that the black community will have to consider a limited form of polygyny in order to fix our situation. I really do. I really do. And it's not about the women. It's about the children. It's not about the women. It ain't about you. I don't care what you think about it. It's about the children. Because we have too many children without fathers. We have too many children without fathers. Now, I know the first thing some of my sisters are going to say, our radical monogamists, some of our radical monogamists out there are going to say, why can't he just take care of the kids without touching her? Let's look at that for a minute. Let's look at that. So you have a man who's raising your children. You have a mother without a man, but you have a man raising the children, but you have a mother without a man. How long do you think that man is going to go in that house, play daddy, year after year, play daddy, and the thirst of that woman isn't going to try to force something that also allows her to get her needs met? And she not wrong. Let me be clear. She is not wrong. Because I believe every woman has a right to have a man. I believe every woman has a right to have a man. In fact, one of the biggest reasons I support a limited form of polygyny is because I believe every woman has a right to have a man. Because if you don't support polygyny, you're saying you don't believe every woman has a right to have a man. That's right. If you are a black woman and you say that you do not support polygyny at all in these United States, then you are saying that you don't believe every woman has a right to have a man, because it ain't enough of us to go around. You got police genocide. You got unnatural death. You got homosexuality. You got mass incarceration. You got mental illness. You got black on black homicide. It ain't enough brothers to go around. So if you don't support polygyny, you also don't believe every woman has a right. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to just be real honest with y'all. I know y'all don't want to hear it because some of y'all live in the dreamland. And I respect that. And I respect that. Somebody on Instagram says 70% of black men are gay. I do not agree with that. I do not agree with that. I think it's growing because you damn Obama supporters let a black man come in the White House and homosexualize your damn children. I'm going to say it again. I believe the rate of black male homosexuality is significantly increasing because you silly Negroes, okay, worshipped Barack Obama and let him homosexualize your children and ain't say a damn thing about it, so it's your fault. So I believe the homosexuals are on the rise, but I don't believe 70% of black men are gay. I would say 40%. I could see a maximum of 40% of black men being gay. I could be wrong. I hope it's not higher. I'm hoping that black homosexuality is at a 40% or less. I'm hoping. I don't even want to consider, because I haven't thought about that. Now you just gave me something I got to research. And it's hard to really get those answers because so many black gay men are bisexual and will never admit to having sex with men. So many black bisexuals will never admit to having sex with men, so we'll never get the true number. But I'm a hope and pray it's not 50. I'm a hope and pray that we ain't at no 50%. God damn. If that's the case, we moving to Africa next month. Who going to Africa with me? I'm telling you, if I see anything talking about half the black men in America get, we going to Africa. Who going to Africa with Dr. Umar? Who going to Africa? Okay? We out. We out. I better never, we out. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with gay black brothers, okay? Let me get rid of you, because you obviously don't believe in nationalism. You don't believe in family. You believe in sickness. So let me get your ass out. So anyway, okay. Okay, but guess what, ladies? Can we take it 360? Let's take it 360. If you sisters are gonna say the brothers are gay, and 2/3 of all men are raised by their mothers. If you sisters are going to say the brothers are gay, but 2/3 of all brothers are raised by mothers. You see where I'm getting? You see this? If you're going to say the brothers are gay, and 2/3 of the brothers are being raised by mothers, who was responsible for letting that child get influenced by homosexuals? Who was responsible for letting that child get molested by a male relative? In other words, ladies, it's not fair that y'all have to raise the boys on your own. It's not right that black women have to raise the boys on their own, but black women have to take responsibility for the fact that the rise in homosexuality is largely taking place in a female-ran household. We have to be honest. We have to be honest. What is going on in the female-dominated home that's giving rise to so much homosexuality? I agree with you, my queen. The fathers are not there. So the men are as at fault as the women. I agree with you. I'm not debating that. We are at fault as a people. It is the community's responsibility. It is the community's responsibility. I'm simply saying that sisters have to consider your role. Listen, black women will be the first one to say, I don't want my son being gay. You'll be the first one to say that. You don't want your son being gay. However, you have 5 gay black male friends. And then you will complain that it's not enough men to go around while you hanging out with 5 or 10 gay black males. How do you explain that? That's a contradiction, black woman. There's no way you can say we ain't got enough men. We ain't got no good black men. We ain't got no strong black men. And yet you got 5 gay black male friends. That's like Umar Johnson talking about we don't need to put our kids on Ritalin. We don't need to put our kids on Adderall. We don't need to put our kids on Strattera. We don't need to put our kids on Prozac. We don't need to put our kids on Cyclerc. And while Dr. Umar Johnson is saying we don't need to put our kids on Risperdal and Depakote, I'm selling those drugs for the pharmaceutical company. How does that make me look? I make money selling the drugs, but then I'm going to say we shouldn't give them to our children. So a lot of black women, you got to check yourself. Talking about it ain't enough men to go around and you supporting homosexuality. It ain't enough men going around, but you supporting same-sex relationships. Check yourself. And you know what's so funny? Some sisters don't want to see a man with 2 women, but you don't have a problem seeing a man with another man. Some sisters don't have a problem with a man sleeping with another man, but you got a problem with a man having 2 wives. So why is it okay for a man to be gay, but it's not okay for him to have a plural marriage? Facts. You will support homosexuality, but you won't support a plural relationship. Something's wrong with us. Well, first of all, I don't know who told y'all drinking soy milk turns you gay. That's the dumbest shit I heard in my life. And I'm a psychologist, so I know more about this topic than any of these self-trained hoteppers. Anybody who tell you drinking soy milk turns you gay is a damn fool. Okay? There's nothing you can eat that's going to make you want to have sex with another man. Okay? Let me say it again. There's nothing you can eat that's going to want to make you have sex with another man. So y'all can kill that dumb shit. Dreadlock said, if you're going to have two wives and they both on welfare, I agree with you, Dreadlock. No man should be allowed to have more than one wife if he can't take care of them. We talking about brothers who can provide. We talking about brothers who can provide. And the reason why a lot of sisters are against polygyny, because they've been abused enough in their lives by men who have cheated, married other women, uninformed polygyny. I understand why sisters are against it, because most sisters have been traumatized already by unofficial plural relationships. You understand? We know that in Islam, there's plural relationship. In the Hebrew community, plural relationships. In other communities, the Moorish communities, there's plural relationships. But they are paternal. They are male-dominated polygynous orders. And what you need to understand about African polygyny, what needs to be understood about African polygyny is in many African societies, particularly the matrilineal societies, it was the women who created and gave rise to the polygyny in the first place. It was the women who created and gave rise to the polygyny in the first place. Women created polygyny in the African social order, not men. It didn't come from Islam and Christianity. It was the sisterhood. The sisters said, I want for my sister what I want for myself. I want for my sister what I want for myself. In order for polygyny to work, the women have to be more committed to each other than either one of them are committed to the man. I'm going to say it again. Polygyny in an African context is supposed to support the women. The women have to be more committed to each other than either one of them is committed to the man, because it is the women who will make or break the plural marriage. It's not the man, it's the woman. The woman will make or break the plural marriage, not the man. And that's facts. Which is why in the African context, the primary wife has to agree on who the second wife is going to be. She don't choose her. You choose her, but she must confirm her. She must confirm. So the president nominates a new Supreme Court justice, but the U.S. Congress must confirm. And if the U.S. Congress don't confirm, the president has to go out and find another nominee. That's how it is in many African culture. You find the wife, but the first wife has to approve her. And if she don't, your ass got to get back out there, because it has to be a good fit, not just for you. It has to be a good fit for her. It got to be a good fit for her. Okay? When am I getting married? Somebody asked. After I build FDMG. Until FDMG come, no wifeys. You understand? The women have to get along. You understand? But black women have so many issues with each other. I don't know how well that would go over either. In fact, the biggest issue, I think the biggest threat to successful African-centered matrilineal polygynous marriage structures in America is the conflict between black women. The conflict between black women, I think, is a very big issue. Not even the man, but the conflict between the sisters, I think, is going to be a big issue. But see, for me, working in the schools, it bothers me. It bothers me to see children who have brothers and sisters in the same school and they can't even acknowledge each other. Brothers and sisters in the same school and they can't even acknowledge each other because the mothers, who both know they were dating the same man. Let's be honest, ladies. Can we be honest, ladies? Ladies, can we be honest? Most of you know your man has another woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing wrong with it is you're in denial about it. All I'm saying is, if men are going to have another woman anyway, and most do, okay, I'm just going to give it to you real. I know y'all don't want to hear it because the preacher been lying to you and the email. I know y'all don't want to hear this shit. I know you don't, because you're not ready for the truth. But it's my job to give it to you anyway. Most men on the planet, black, white, rich, poor, orange, green, tan, Arab, East Indian, Anglo-Saxon, Jew, Native American, Mexican, African, have more than one woman. Facts. You can deny it all you want. Most men have more than one woman. Facts. Question is, what are y'all going to do about it? Are y'all going to keep on letting this crazy unresponsible polygyny go on, or y'all gonna put some rules to this shit so it works for you? Or y'all gonna put some rules to this shit so it works for you? Which is why I've always said, and this is another point I want to communicate to the woman. Leaving because a man cheated may not always be the best decision. Leaving because a man cheated may not be the best decision. It may not, because most men will do it. So you leave a man because he cheated. What are you looking for? Another man who's going to cheat too. Let me tell you when you must leave. I didn't say you shouldn't. I will never tell you not to leave a situation where you're not comfortable. I would never tell you that. But may I tell my queens when you must leave? Let me tell you when you must leave. When you must leave. And you must leave a situation when the man has disrespected you to the point where you are no longer the queen of the castle. See, as long as you are the queen of the castle, and every once in a while he doing this and doing that, if you want to leave, leave. But I don't know if that's grounds to give up something that's great. As long as you being respected and that's kept out of your face, you understand? Because if he respects you, you'll never know. If he respects you, you'll never know. Ain't nobody calling your house, or ain't nobody getting pregnant. Ain't nobody bringing you no diseases. If he respects you, you never know. But let me tell you when you must leave. Let me tell you when you must leave. When you be the queen of his life, you've been the queen of his life, and he got this one over here, but you the queen, and everybody know you the queen. Because when you call, he drop everything. That's when you know you the queen. When you the queen, and your ass call, he drop everything and roll for the queen. That's how you know who the queen is. That's how you know who the queen is. But see, what happens is when he take one of these little thoughts, and puts her above you, when he demotes you from queen status and promotes someone else to queen status, you have to leave. Black woman, listen to your brother. Black woman, listen to your brother. Never let a man disrespect you to the point of putting another woman in your place. Never let a black man disrespect you to the point of putting another woman in your place. Never let a black man disrespect you to the point of putting another woman in your place. Once you have been replaced, once you are no longer the queen bee, once someone else has been offered a seat on your throne, pack your shit, grab your kids, and get the hell out that house. That's when you must leave. That's when you must leave. He had the audacity to move you to the side and put someone else in as the queen? Oh, hell no. It's time to roll. It's time to roll. Now you say, Sister Angela Smith, what about two husbands? Well, when you study African history, you will find that we have had societies in Africa that were polyandrous. It's true. Do your research. There have been cultures in Africa where the women had more than one husband. Yes, it is a fact. It was not a lot of cultures. It did not occur all the time. But yes, it does have a precedent. But what I can tell you is in any African culture where the women were allowed to have more than one husband, it was because there was a shortage of women. A shortage of women. A lot of this is predicated on which gender is experiencing the shortage. If you allow black women in America to have two husbands, my question to you is, how does that help our situation? If you ain't got enough men to go around as it is, and you have two, if you don't have enough men to go around as it is, and you have two, If you don't have enough men to go around as it is, and you going to take two, you're creating a greater male-female ratio disparity. That's not a solution. It's causing more problems. The other thing women need to understand is you're not engineered to be with more than one man. You are the feminine principle. You absorb. You absorb. Why would you want the semen of 2 or 3 different men swimming in your divine portal at the same time? Why would you want the semen in the DNA, in the ancestral lineage, in the emotional and psychic pain of 3 different men or 2 different men swimming around in your divine portal at the same time? It doesn't make sense. And then you add to that, if a woman got 2, 3, 4 husbands and one man gets you pregnant, if a woman got 2, 3, 4 husbands and a man gets you pregnant, what are the other men supposed to do for 9 months? I'm going to ask you again. Once you get pregnant by husband number 1, are you telling me that husband number 2 and husband number 3 are supposed to sit for 9 months until you deliver husband number 1's baby? Or better yet, do you think it is healthy for husband number 2 and husband number 3 to be intimate with you, with husband number 1's baby growing in your womb? Is that spiritually healthy? So no matter how you look at it, polyandry will not structurally and systematically benefit Black America. With that being said, let me tell you what I would do if I was in charge of the Black community and I was the minister of polygyny. Let's say Dr. Umar Johnson was the minister of polygyny in the Black community. Okay? Any man who wants to have more than one wife must be registered. Any woman who's looking to be married must be registered. The Council of Elders must be conscious of all men seeking wives and all women seeking The Council of Elders must be conscious of all men seeking wives and all women seeking husbands. Once you enter into a dating relationship, this is recorded on paper. Why? Why are we recording every dating relationship on paper? This way, there is no dishonesty. This way, there is no undercover lover shit. This way, nobody is taken advantage of because the whole community knows. The whole community knows that he is dating her and she is dating him. Everything must be above ground. Part of our problem in the Black community is we don't have anything above ground. Part of our problem is we don't have anything above ground. So we're going to register everybody. And before you get married, you must go through a mandatory parent and father and husband, a mandatory parent and mother and wife training put on by the Council of Elders. Okay? The elders will train you on how to manage, build, construct, protect, promote family. You must be trained. You don't just get a wife. You got to be taught how to be a husband. You don't just get a husband. You got to be taught how to be a wife. That's how it would operate. Now, let's go further. Every woman who wants to get married, she gets registered, right? The women will be put in 4 groups. 4. And before a man could get a second wife, the first wife has to agree, and we have to interview her and do research, investigate the family, talk to friends and neighbors to see if he was treating her good. Because if you can't treat one woman good, then you don't need another wife, and you will not get another wife. So all the women who want to get married will be put in 4 categories. Okay? For the sake of conversation, there will be the A list, there will be the B list, there will be the C list, and there will be the D list. There will be the A list queens, the B list queens, the C list queens, the D list queens. They will be organized based on what? Potential and baggage. Potential and baggage. So, who's on the A list? The A list are the gorgeous women, the beautiful women. They got the small body, the waist, the hips, the ass. They ain't got no children. They got their own business, college degrees. They got it going on. That's the A-list queens. So when a brother is ready to get married, he gets to choose one of his 4 wives, and you can only have 4 in my system, one of his 4 wives from the A-list. One of his 4 wives from the A-list. He has to be happily married to her for 2 years before he can get another wife. He comes back, we talk to her, she says we approve, he can get a second wife, but she can't come from the A-list. Why? Because if men had it their way, all of their wives would come from the A-list. Unmarried, drop dead gorgeous, nothing but potential queens. You can only have one because we need enough of them to go around. Furthermore, we have to make sure that all women get married. We have to make sure all women get married. We have to make sure all women get married. We have to make sure all women get married. What does that mean? That means a woman with 20 kids has a right to get married. That means a woman with AIDS got a right to get married. A woman with cancer got a right to get married. Old women got a right to get married. Women who can't have babies has a right to get married. That's right. That's right. So if you really want to be polygynous, your polygyny will serve the best interest of the community. So when the man is ready to take a second wife, he goes to the B list. He goes to the B list. Who the B list? These are sisters who still got it going on. These are sisters who still got it going on. Okay? They got their college degrees. They got their college degrees. They got their business. But they may have 2, 3 kids. But they still got it going on. So his second wife will be from the B list. So he got an A-list wife. She's perfect. B-list wife, just a little bit of baggage. May have been married once, just a little bit of baggage. And see, sisters, if you organize polygyny right, most men won't want another wife because they don't want the responsibility. See, when they think of more than one wife, they think about 4 Beyoncés. They think about 4 Beyoncés. That's what they thinking about. You don't get 4 Beyoncés. You get 1 Beyonce, and then you got to get another type of a woman because we got to make sure all of our women get married, not just the attractive ones with no kids. Facts. Facts. So then he comes back and he says he want a 3rd wife. So we talk to the first 2 wives. If they approve, he goes to the C list. The C list. Does anybody know what C stands for? C stands for be careful when you choose this one. Be careful when you choose this one. The C list wife has more baggage. The C list wife has more baggage. She may have been married 2 or more times. She might can't have children. She may have an irreversible disease, cancer, psychological illness. She might be schizophrenic. She has more baggage. That's why you got to be careful when you choose her. She's on the C list. And then, if he wants 1 more wife and he can only have 4. If he wants 1 more wife and he can only have 4, he goes to the D list. What sisters are on the D list? And why are we doing this, ladies? Why are we even doing this? We're doing this to make sure every woman has equal chance of getting married. That's why he must go to the B list. He must go to the C list. He must go to the D list because the woman with 6 kids with cancer in the ghetto has just as much right to get married as the beautiful woman with no kids fresh out of college. This must benefit the community. It cannot be about the selfish agenda of the black man. This cannot be about the selfish agenda of the black man. So then when he goes to the D list means she is dangerous. This woman takes psychiatric meds. This woman was a gangbanger. This woman might have killed a boyfriend or 2. This woman might have strangled a baby daddy or 2. This woman might have shot her daddy in the back. This woman got some issues. She got some major issues. She can take life. She's dangerous. She's dangerous. Okay? But guess what, fellas? The D-list might be a blessing in disguise. The D-list might be a blessing in disguise. And do you know why the D-list might be a blessing in disguise? Because a brother like me in the Black conscious movement, I need a couple D-list sisters who could do security for me, a couple D-list sisters who would take a life for the Prince of Pan-Africanism. And guess what else? If you got a D-list wife, she gonna keep your other 3 wives in line. She the general of the house when you ain't there. Your D-list wife is going to make sure them kids is taken care of, that they fed, the bills is paid, the house is clean. She going to keep them in line. She going to tell wife number 1, get your little pretty ass in that kitchen and get my husband's dinner. She going to tell wife number 2, did you pay the bills? She going to tell wife number 3, do you got the kids' school clothes ready tomorrow? The D-list wife is ride or die. The D-list wife is ride or die. At the end of the day, she going to keep all your problems from ever coming to you. The D-list wife is going to keep all your problems from coming to you. See, ladies, the brothers ain't liking this. You know why they not liking it? Because it ain't about them. It's about y'all. It's about y'all. That's right. We want the single mommies married. We want the elders married. We want everybody married. So if women will come together, you ain't got to take my system. This is just a quick example of how you need to do it. It ain't got to be this way. But I just wanted to illustrate to you that polygyny is about the entire community, not just some of us. And if you do it right, brothers won't even want it because it's too much responsibility. It's too much responsibility. That's right. That's right. And don't forget, we're going to have the ski mask club too. We're going to have the ski mask club to kick brothers' asses who don't know how to keep their hands to themselves, because it ain't no putting your hands on no black woman. Do you feel me? So I think that's about it for today. How long we been live, y'all? How long we been live? I don't even know how long we've been live. But I just want to say that I'm enjoying myself over here in Tokyo, Japan. The weather is really, really good. The weather is really, really good. I'm liking the weather. I'm speaking tonight, which I think is still your yesterday. Okay, so I'm speaking to you in the future. Garveyism. Okay, excuse me. So I'll be speaking today in Tokyo, tomorrow in Nagoya. Then I fly to China, and we got Beijing and Shanghai. This is the first annual Dr. Umar Johnson Pan-Africanism in Asia tour. Went to an 800-year-old Buddhist temple earlier today. I absolutely enjoyed it. I hope y'all coming out to Brooklyn. Who coming to see Dr. Umar in Brooklyn on Friday, June 2nd? Who coming to see the Prince of Pan-Africanism in Brooklyn on Friday, June 2nd, 6 o'clock. Doors open up at 4. If you are a vendor, if you want to vend in Brooklyn, we still have some spots. If you want to vend in Brooklyn, we still have some spots. So look for us. We also got some opening acts for Brooklyn. No rap. Absolutely no rap. We'll do some poetry. No rap. Okay, and then we got Detroit, who coming to the National Independent Black Parent Association training in Detroit, June 9th and 10th. Make sure you register for that. Okay, princeofpanafricanism.eventbrite.com, princeofpanafricanism.eventbrite.com. Who's sending their sons and daughters on the 2nd annual Dr. Umar Black College and Consciousness Tour? Who's sending their daughters on the 2nd annual Dr. Umar Black College and Consciousness Tour? Okay? You can register now. You can register now. Go ahead and register. I'm only taking 40. I'm only taking 40 students. 20 male, 20 female. Register now. $2,000. $1,000 is all you have to pay now, and then you have to pay the balance by the 18th of June. Okay, I hope you didn't spend all that money on weave. I hope you didn't spend all that money on Timbs. Okay, register your child June 28th to July the 12th. Okay, they have to be there on the night of the 28th. They have to be in Newark, New Jersey at an undisclosed hotel. That information will come to you. Okay, Newark, New Jersey at an undisclosed hotel. Okay, on the night of June the 28th. All that information will come to you. All right, Seattle, Washington, June 17th. Who coming to Seattle? Who coming to see Dr. Papa in Seattle? All the Pacific Northwest cities, y'all need to come on over. It's the closest I'll be to you for a while. Don't wait for me to come to you. Okay, you definitely need to come to me. Okay, in Seattle. All right, that's June 17th. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Who coming to Minneapolis on Wednesday the 14th of June? Wednesday the 14th of June. Okay. And then Fort Lauderdale, Florida, September 30th. Houston, Texas, December 30th. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, September 30th. Houston, Texas, December 30th. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, September 30th. Houston, Texas, December 30th. Okay? So, with that being said, don't forget to donate. Okay, GoFundMe.com/Dr. Umar. We still looking for the school. We're going to get one soon. We still looking for the school. We're going to get one soon. 8/21/18, Heaven on Earth. Don't forget, on my birthday, August the 21st, which is the anniversary of the Nat Turner War, we want you in Nat Turner land, Druryville, Virginia. DREWRYville. DREWRYville. I want you to MapQuest that right now. Type in your MapQuest, your GPS. DREWRYVILLE. Druryville, Virginia, Monday, August the 21st. I will be giving a lecture on the Nat Turner land. Elder Khalifa will give you a tour of the Nat Turner land. It's going to be special because it is our next total solar eclipse. It is our total solar eclipse, August the 21st of 2017. This summer, we will be in Virginia, and I want all y'all to be there. I want all y'all to be there. So on that note, I hope I said something that helped the sister save her relationship, save her life, save her happiness, rebuild her life. Okay? And I just hope all was good. I hope all was good. I see I got a lot of Muslims trolling my page. Salam alaikum. But I'm not interested in you or your ideology. Okay? Let's show respect. I don't troll your page. Don't troll mine. I let y'all do what y'all want to do. Don't come on my page. Okay? This is Garvey. I'm not into what you into. This is Pan-Africanism. So let's just have mutual respect for each other and let's leave it at that. All right? But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Tokyo, I will see you tomorrow. Nagoya Sunday. Shanghai, Beijing next week. And then Friday, June 2nd, Brooklyn. We're going to get it popping. One love, black family. Enjoy the rest. Hold on. Let me get this one. One love, black family. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day.